Last time, our party of intrepid heroes finds themselves waking in the caves and hideout of a former band of highwaymen, known as the Venom Thorns. The night posed quite restful for some, while for others infinitely more revelatory and inspiring. Cephas, a vision from Ilmater and confirmation of your oath to him. Clonus, an oath sworn to Cerebrin and a responsibility bestowed upon you. Titus, waking up slightly taller, stronger, and more confusingly runic. And finally, Hulk, the land spending the day calling to you, a natural and ancient force within it begging to be unearthed, and a companion crawling from the icy water in the form of a drake. Our last session was one of new power and promises made, with heartfelt goodbyes and new friendships forged. Now, after some quick purchases were made and surprise bounties were turned in, the group finds themselves waking and ready to leave for Fort Trinity the next morning. So, a few things at the top. We made kind of a mistake with timing last time. You guys definitely wouldn't be leaving at night. It wouldn't make sense. And because of your shopping and stuff, you had to pick some stuff up that night. So we will just say that night, you guys would have returned, picked up your armor. It's been resized. Even after its resizing at Ovard, it's still a little bit bulky because of who it was originally made for. They obviously resized it so it will fit. Wearing the armor and then putting like a robe or something around yourself, you have a bit of a bulkier frame now than you would if this was made for you, if that makes sense. But it padding. So. It fits fine.
And you do take 1 point of exhaustion.
Oh, no. Like Nim in the Dwarven armor?
But it is noticeably, heavier than what you were wearing before. Also, I misquoted something last time. When I double checked my map, the map you guys have access to as well, I was asked, how long would it take you to get from Tradeacre to Trinity? And I had said something like 5 weeks, maybe 6 or something. And everybody was like, whoa. And even in my head, I was thinking, man, I know I wanted this campaign things to be a little more spread out, but that seems long. It's because it is. It should only take you about 16 days to get there rather than 5 weeks, which would be 40. Your next fight is actually in about 3 weeks rather than 6 to 7 weeks. If that makes sense, Ghibly. Also that night after picking stuff up, I'm assuming you guys would have returned after saying your goodbyes to Arthur. You would have then returned that night and been like, hey, actually, you know what? Can we stay another night? He, of course, would have been perfectly fine with it. And then in the morning, basically everything that was said before, he would have rehashed a little bit how enjoyable it's been to get to know all of you. And again, another quicker round of heartfelt goodbyes since there's not another dinner to be had like there was last night. Shall we get to travel?
And then you guys had a cart also, right?
Yeah, so what are the means of your travel, I guess, is an important question. Because you were storing your cart somewhere, right? You had paid for...
to be stable
for it to
horses.
Yeah. And you had 2 horses on it, or was it 1?
I believe it was 1.
Okay, I thought it was
not
1.
a big cart.
No, it's a fairly small one. It's basically a little buggy.
All right. I'd like to keep the cart.
Yeah. So you go pick it up. There was a local inn. I don't actually remember which one it was, but...
Me neither.
I think it might be written down in my other notebook.
Probably the first one we came to.
Yeah, I think it's the Hay Bale Inn. But I could be wrong. Regardless, you had prepaid, if I remember correctly. So going back, picking it up, relatively easy. You had paid for a longer amount of time anyway, because you guys weren't here as long as you might have expected. So they returned to you your cart. You notice that the wheels, there's a couple spokes in the wheels that were cracked, that they have been fixed.
Yes.
And the horse is in great condition, well rested, well fed.
I'd toss him 5 silver for the repairs.
Well, the stable boy is much appreciated. Yeah. Acquiring your horse and buggy, there's mostly just room on the front for 1 person, maybe 2 smaller people. And in the back, you've got enough room for like about 4 people or some supplies. But with that many people in there, it will be pretty slow. So,
And me and Edovard can switch off driving the cart
Leads. Yeah.
because we both got.
vehicle proficiency? Okay, cool. So then there won't be any check required for just driving it. Or for like making... Now, if something happens, there might be checks required, but you'll be able to add your proficiency to it if it's depending on the check. Do you guys all have supplies and stuff too, like rations and everything for the travel? Huh?
I don't.
Okay. Do you want to just... So if you want...
Yeah. What would it cost for 2 weeks rations?
Check the book real quick.
Oh, wait.
So, and also, this hasn't really been mentioned on mic yet. I mean, most of you know this already about the world, but weeks are 8 days, and most months are about 40 to 45 days, depending on the month. So, when I refer to a week, it means 8 days. If I say 2 weeks, it's 16 days. Yeah.
I have 10 rations, but you're saying it's 2 weeks, so is one ration for a whole
A day.
Okay.
It's 1 day's worth of rations, which is like
so
two small
I'll need
meals.
6 more to make 16.
Yeah, which would be just enough, assuming you guys don't have
Right,
those.
but I would
Right, so if you wanted to, as a group, you could get a bunch of rations and put them in your cart.
Real quick, I didn't get it written down. How much gold did we get last? From
750 split 8 ways.
750 split 8 ways.
It was 75 platinum, and Levi split it up, I believe.
Everyone gets 9, and then one person gets 10 platinum. That's the way it splits out.
I'll take 9.
I can take 9.
I'll take 10. The moment it's offered, Edivard just goes, I'll take it. I don't take it.
I would say in a town such as this, so it would be 53 gold for 160 individual rations. Actually, 53 gold and 4 silver.
So 6 gold and 7 silver per row.
Are you guys going to buy that?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be like a couple barrels of stuff. You'd have some like hardtack, probably quite a bit of fruit, and some salted meats and stuff like that. So it's probably a couple barrels of food and maybe a crate worth that can go in your...
Puts it on their inventory list.
I think, does someone want to have a cart inventory list?
It's my card.
So you want to put down 160 travel rations. Weight of that would be, if you care about the weight, that's 320 pounds.
So 1 Titus.
That's taking up, a good bit of room in your cart. Unless something Oregon Trail style spoils your rations mid-travel. At the very end, when we figure out how many days it's been, based on how the travel goes, you guys can take that many rations off times 8. Cool. Just to make it easier. Now, something could happen, but we'll see about that.
Foreshadowing.
You get attacked by the ration
Foreshadowing,
spoiler.
Without me even knowing it, because it's a little bit random.
Foreshadowed.
Foreshadowed. Okay, is there anything else you guys would want to pick up in Tradeacre?
The supplies to make a backpack type contraption.
Okay.
Clopas,
All right, so
that we talked to.
Who's Clopas?
Clopas.
Calliope.
Calliope, you mean?
Oh, sorry.
You're speaking. Yeah.
What is it?
Well, Clonus?
Colonoscopy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're getting closer.
What is it?
Clonus?
Clonus, yeah. I like Clonus.
So what do you?
So what do you want
You
specifically?
need like wood.
Well, we
metal
talked
brackets?
to
Lumen.
Lumen, so presumably he devised a plan, but I'm assuming it's going to take leather, wood, maybe iron, sort
Some
of.
rivets and stuff. Well, I'm assuming you don't want necessarily entirely raw materials, just like an iron block. Is it going to do?
No.
You want
But
you
like
want-
rivets or
some fasteners.
like screwed.
So let's go ahead and have one of you with advantage can go ahead and roll an intelligence check to see what materials you think you would need.
4.
Oh, okay, all right. So I
Does
will
that just mean
say
we don't come up with a plan or what?
you come up with the idea of getting a few of those things, right? The things you listed, but it's more a matter of being able to find exactly what you're looking for in a town that's primary trade is dealing in agriculture, which a lot of these things are still needed for livestock and stuff like that. But go ahead and with advantage, one of you can roll either a persuasion check or you can roll. Or sorry, it's a straight charisma, or you can roll an investigation check.
I like to imagine you approach like a farmer or a tanner, and you're like, "We need a brace for a bull that walks on two legs."
So it's either a straight charisma, or you can do investigation.
You guys are charismatic.
Is it the same? No. 11.
Okay. You're able to find pretty much everything that you're looking for, or at least something suitable, right? So you got a backpack to kind of be suitable for like a frame. Some decent wooden planks that are relatively thick. You find a couple that you think you could probably stack on top of each other and glue together. But you did find some like loops and fasteners and stuff that will be used for kind of like corralling livestock and stuff, and like placing them in areas or keeping them corralled in areas. So the total for everything you got, if you wanted to purchase it, would be 8 gold pieces.
And I don't have time to stop by the tinkerer's place and ask him for some ideas from them.
If you wanted to, it would just delay your guys' leaving time from the morning till...
It's not like on the way out, I can't just ask.
It's not on the way out from where you guys were, but it would just be a matter of like 10 minutes to go over to that place and 10 minutes back to get back to like the gate area.
You guys can spare an hour.
You guys could go while we get the horses and carriage.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so walking back over to the Temple of Kiltis, walking in there, there's that older guy that you spoke with last time. And actually, you notice the project that they were working on yesterday. It's this strange contraption, this large boxy contraption of a bunch of pieces of metal, and it's got like smoke coming out of one side and some sort of liquid in the other. He looks up at you and kind of nods that you're here, but continues his work as if he's listening.
Sir, I've got a question. We've devised a plan for a backpack that he can sit in on my back. Here's my idea.
And I've written it down, and I show him the plan, and I explain to him the resources that we've already gotten.
But I know that a man like you has an eye for these sorts of things. Do you have any ideas? Would this work, or is there something I'm missing then?
So showing him the things that you guys have purchased, he kind of looks it all up and down, and you're not actually the first person that's asked about something like this. I have an old friend of mine who is a mage of sorts and lost his legs in battle. And he was hopeful that one of his friends, he wanted to continue to go into battle, they could still do that. And we fashioned something similar. But I'm assuming you want ease of... It's not so much that you want him locked in place. You want him to be able to get down should battle deem necessary, correct?
That's right. I want it to be sturdy, so it doesn't fall apart. You know, if I need to run, he won't just fall right out either. He can hold on. But also he can jump right out if he needs to. He's got both his legs. Sorry about you, mate.
Yeah, I have some ideas. I could probably correct a few things here that you have written. And he spends about 30 minutes kind of showing you where what you had designed had some pretty fatal weak points. And then you kind of go, oh, the parts that you thought you fixed based off of it last time breaking, those were not the parts that broke. And he explains based on the fact that it did break before. And he also just gives you a few smaller of these little bracket things that seem like they would probably be more suitable and be just as strong as the ones you purchased. He just offers to trade the ones you purchased for these smaller ones.
That's very generous. Thank you. You're a good man, you are.
Thank you. I appreciate ingenuity in anybody, and seeing that you want to tinker and build something with your hands brings me great joy.
Well, we need people like you. And I'm not much of a tinkerer myself, but every once in a while I'll give it a try.
Well, I hope it's suitable. If you come back through town, I'd like to see if it worked out.
Well, thank you very much. We will stop by certainly. for your trouble.
And I'm going to leave him 4 gold.
Wow, okay. He smiles, and I appreciate it. It will go far for the church. Yeah. So the way this will work is when you guys go to make... he wasn't... short of me giving you something that you hadn't asked for, which it wasn't really anything, when you go to make a check to try and build this, that interaction with him will have brought the DC down. It won't be as difficult now to be successful. Okay, so you guys make your way back to the gate.
I forgot. I needed a sprig of mistletoe.
You need a sprig of mistletoe, you said? Okay. I would say I'm not even going to make you roll for it. You have already made an interaction with Grass, and so she can get you something like that. And I'll say it doesn't necessarily grow right now, but what she has run you 7 silver. All right, so this will then begin our basically our Oregon Trail mini game for travel.
I love this, by the way.
Oh, good. Sometimes I'm afraid it gets boring.
We're going to try to wade through the water.
Okay.
My kids are named Polter, Skunk, and Rye, like the bread.
I maxed out on ammo, by the way.
Oh,
I
no.
didn't bring enough cattle.
Well, if the cattle you have get sick, you can definitely shoot them.
Going at a breakneck speed with the minimum rations.
Dude, I loved playing Oregon Trail in high school whenever we had time in computer class and just challenging myself with those, like, clearly setting yourself up for failure runs.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, depending on how your days go, I should say, it will either add to the total number of days it takes for you to get there, which will then limit the amount of time you have there before the duel. Could even make it that you, if it goes horribly, you don't even make it. Also, things could happen that will impact your rations, which will then, obviously, you'll have to solve these problems if they arise. But you're looking at, from what you understand, 16 days of travel. And depending on how it goes, we'll see if that number stays the same. So, for day number 1, somebody go ahead and roll a d12.
Start with Levi.
Yeah, we can just go around. So the d12, there are
12 sides.
there's a table here I have in front of me. There's 12 possible results, and some of them require another die roll to see if you get a different instance of said result.
9.
9?
So self-conscious now.
So, the day is long. The day is boring. The weather is slightly gray-skied. No downpour of rain, not even a moment of mist. But the clouds above you are fairly heavy-looking, but no storm. But despite that, it is still very, very hot outside. Also, I will say your spirits are high. This is your first day of travel with one another as a full group. Your horse is is kind of in good spirits as well rested. So, all in all, a safe and perfectly fine day of travel for day number 1. Well done, Levi. Byron? We'll get to that in just a second. I misspoke. What we will do is you guys can just pick somebody to roll a d20, and that will basically be your watch for the night. So for that first night, who wants to roll a d20? Sure. So Mike, go and roll a d20.
8.
Okay. So nothing happens that night. You guys have a good night's
I
sleep.
did roll a 1.
Cool.
You rolled a 1. Okay. The weather today is again similar. There's a bit of break in the clouds. Some sun peeks through, makes it a little bit hotter, but it's a bit more of a beautiful day. Spirits are still high. Your horse still feels well rested. Nothing has happened to your horse. Nothing has gone wrong. But with that, you all head on your next day of travel. So, Matt, go ahead and roll a
D12.
12.
About 3/4 of the way through your day, it's a relatively easy day of travel. The sun is out. The clouds have passed. However, there is a strange moment where Holik and Venora, you both hear quick galloping, growing closer very, very quickly, and coming from behind you. Whipping around and looking behind you, you see a lone rider on a dark horse covered in dark clothing and a long trail of red behind them, like a scarf tied around their neck and trailing behind them like 10 feet.
Wow.
Racing towards you. About 150 feet away or more, but growing very, very close, very, very quickly.
It's just like a scarf, not fire.
Does not look like fire. No, it's a different red anyway than fire. It's. I mean, from here it's like a blood red.
Okay.
If we can get the cart like off the road a little bit,
Yeah.
just
pull
to,
over.
like just pull over.
It will take enough to do that this guy will be on you before you think you could do that. But you can try. It'll
He's
just
going
be
to
a
hit us
roll.
with
Just
the
get it.
captain.
So have somebody
Yeah.
who's driving. Is it you?
It's probably out of our.
You're 1 through 2. I'm 3 through 4.
No, I feel horrible today. You
I'm 1
just
through
look
4. It's me.
Okay. I'm 1 through 4. Oh, you're rolling to see who did it. Okay. Then I need you to go ahead and roll. I guess it would just be roll a dexterity check, but you can add your proficiency because you're proficient in land vehicles.
Brilliant. Can I have advantage?
No.
Okay. 12.
12? Okay, you start to quickly try and get the horse to go off the road. The road it's well made here, but there's still like little grooves and divots in it, and the horse is kind of like resisting. And quickly, Holik is, get off the road, quickly. There's enough room for this guy to go past, but even as he's growing now 190, 60 feet, he is not moving. He's not changing direction. He is in the very center of the road, and he's rocketing towards you. And when he gets about 60 feet away, he, continuing at the same breakneck pace, he rises up tall in the seat and kind of stands up slightly, and you watch him shoot this marble of fire straight through you all. Everybody roll dexterity saving throws.
This guy's crazy.
I tried, man.
I'll never roll this well again.
Holik,
10 and 18.
just let me know if you rolled lower than a 15. So Holik?
Sorry.
Just 3 of you? Okay, so the 3 of you, caught completely off guard. You're watching this. Holik, you are watching him do it. And then just as you open your mouth to tell everybody to take cover, you turn to Clonus and Cephas, about to yell for them to take cover, and there's this explosion in the center of your group. The cart is thrown off the road. It doesn't roll or anything, but it scoots to the side. Everybody takes, if you rolled a 15 or higher, you take 13 fire damage. If you do not, you take 26.
As a reaction, my book will flip open and some runes start to glow, and I cast Absorb Elements. So I take half of 13, rounded up is 7.
Yeah. There's this explosion as all of you, your ears ringing. Those of you who succeeded are still standing. The rest of you knocked onto the ground. So the 3 of you. Standing, but kind of like clutching your ears, you look up just in time to just see this guy blazes past you, and he's 60 feet away in the other direction. He turns around looking at all of you, and you watch him unfasten what looks like a linen wrap on the back of the horse, and as he does, grease pours out all over the ground
I cast
behind
sleep
him,
on this horse.
entirely filling the area. What's the range on sleep?
90 feet.
Okay, you just cast a reaction spell. Do you want to start initiative then?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to get
So
him.
then we'll see if you get it before.
Yeah, I'm trying.
He undoes that quick fastener, and you guys watch as grease pours out all over the road ahead of you, completely covering the road and off the road about 5 feet on either direction. Okay, 20 to 25.
21.
21.
Okay, who's going first?
I'll go second.
All right, 15 to 20. 17. Or 7.
We were just in like a drive-by shooting for some random car.
10 to 15.
13.
Anybody higher than 13? All right, so Titus, Ghibly, Clonus at 11. So it's just Ghibly and Clonus, 10 to 15. Okay, 5 to 10.
6.
7.
Okay. Who's going first, Lumen or Cephas?
Cephas.
Okay.
4.
So you're at the end.
Yep.
What would you do?
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Holik. This guy is now 80 feet away from you. What would you like to do?
80 feet?
I will roll a death
He
saving
kept
throw.
running.
I'm sorry, what?
A death saving throw?
Yeah.
Oh. So he got
You went unconscious.
Yep.
I only have 24 hit points, so it would have took me down.
How far away is the guy from?
80 feet.
80 feet? Vith is just gonna sprint up to him.
Can
and
you reach him?
He reaches 80 feet. He can't do anything once he's
Okay.
there after he dashes, but he's there at him.
Okay. Ending Holik's turn. Titus.
I'll shoot a longbow or
Okay.
an arrow from the longbow. 19.
Okay. You shoot this arrow straight towards him. You watch it sink into his back. Go ahead and deal damage.
7.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Ending Titus's turn. Ghibly.
I don't really have anything to do to get to him or.
So he got 20 extra feet?
He used the rest of his movement for his turn. I didn't give him an extra 20 feet. He has a lot of movement on his turn because that horse is fast, and the horse took the dash action.
I'll throw an axe at him?
Okay. He's 80 feet. What's the range on an axe?
60.
60 is the
60
long range,
is
right?
longest.
Yeah.
You could try running 20 feet forward and then throwing it.
Yeah, I'll
Okay. So you will have to run through the grease. Would you like to do that?
No, I will not. I'm just going to run at the edge of the grease, throw the axe, and then it'll fail. Because it's not.
Yeah, I mean, you only move 5 feet up and then just chuck the axe, and you watch as it. Go ahead with disadvantage, still make a roll.
Quick fail.
Okay, yeah. And you watch it just kind of bounce off of the road into some brush, and you don't even see where it went. David, when he plays fighters, man, you lose your weapons. Crit fail, loses weapon.
At least it was the axe.
Suddenly there's a creek right there.
Suddenly there's a creek and you lose your sword. No. Okay, ending Ghibly's turn. Clonus.
Still in daze, ears ringing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to I think I'm prone on the ground. I'm gonna look over and see Holik
He was right next to you in the blast.
down, and I'm crawl over to him, still dazed and confused, and just lay my hand and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
So he's down.
So D8 plus your charisma modifier.
0.
Just charisma.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. 7.
Hey,
Okay.
not bad.
Holik, you open your eyes. This smell of sulfur and explosion in the air, as well as this you can just smell oil on the wind.
Rise up. It is not your time. I'm gonna end it. That would be.
Okay. And then Ghibly's turn, it's now the enemy's turn. I mean, Clonus' turn, it's now the enemy's turn. You watch as he whips the horse. The horse screams, and he continues running forward. He keeps looking over his shoulder back at all of you. But
Opportunity.
he does nothing.
Opportunity attack from
Yeah.
Vith.
Oh, from Vith. I was like, you're 80 feet away, dude. All right, go for it.
Critical fail.
Okay, Vith just slips in the oil beneath him. I should have had Vith roll just for the rough terrain on the grease. I totally forgot, so this is fitting. So rushing through, not quite stopping with the grease, trying, and just slides by, and then he runs off.
He's good. He knows what he's doing.
Now 200 feet away from the overall group.
Well, let's get the cart back on the road.
Cephas.
I lay on hands, give myself 6 hit points,
Okay.
and
I drive by
Squint.
shooting.
shake my head, and that's my turn.
Okay. Lumen, anything? If nobody's going to try anything to chase him down and stop him, then we can just stop initiative.
What's the
Catch up
cart's
if we wanted
speed?
to.
The cart's speed, getting it up and going, I don't know.
Not
You definitely can't
140
catch up to him in the
Well,
cart.
I just need to get to 90 feet if I could.
The speed of the cart, since it's only slightly weighed down, is 60 feet. So if you successfully make your check on the grease, you can dash with the cart and using the cart's movement, get it within 80 feet, and then you could do your thing.
I'll do that.
You'll do that?
I'll try. I'll just.
Okay, so
I'm angry.
go ahead, and I'm just going to have you make another dexterity check with proficiency. It's a vehicle check to
Yeah.
see if you can pass through the grease without
Critical
issue. That's very bad.
Yeah.
You rush. You guys see as Edovard, angry, whips at the horse in front of the cart. You watch the cart lurch forward, the horse slipping and falling in the grease. As he gets turned and the cart is going in front of him, the horse falls on his face, and you guys just kind of spin out in the cart off the road.
Oh, no.
And you hear a loud cracking sound.
Nice.
Is anybody else going to try and chase him? Are you going to still try, Lumen? Okay.
Flying.
If nobody else is, then I'll just narrate as you slowly lose him.
Yeah.
You can't keep up with
He's
him.
on a
You can go
horse.
double your speed every round.
Yeah.
But you go good 400 feet. You go 400 feet. He is 800 ahead of you.
I mean, is it just a straight road? Because if it's windy, I got him.
It's mostly straight. I mean, looking at where you guys are, if you look at the map, you guys are only 3 days into your
I'm going
journey.
as the moth flies.
You guys are only 3 days into your journey. It's got slight winds to it, but they're every like 20 miles.
So if you follow him for 3 days, maybe at a breakneck pace.
Okay.
Sorry.
He's good, man. He knows what he's doing. He's got grease.
He's got
grease.
Maybe if we turn Hollock into a weasel, we can find him.
Hey.
I don't even know if anybody can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna healing hands myself,
I'm gonna start inspecting the party.
and
What color was the horse?
I'll do that as well.
What color was the horse?
Dark black. His horse?
90% of traffic drive-bys happen on dark black horses. It's like red cars speeding.
I will start walking to the cart. I'm like,
Okay, make an investigation check, Titus.
I'll start flying back. I'll
Once
see
I
you
get
guys in about an hour.
In 30 feet of everybody, I'm going to do my piece.
Okay.
yeah, and
So go ahead and roll, see how much healing everybody
Wait
gets.
for me.
and want to
I'm assuming not on the grease, since you have to run.
Oh, if you're doing
I'll ice
that,
skate.
then I'm not gonna use my healing hands on myself quite yet.
Okay.
I'll just tell you. Once Lumen gets back, I'll try and heal everybody.
Then I'm gonna go check and see if it's the horse or the cart that got broke.
Well, the horse isn't screaming, so
Okay.
that's pretty indicative of
Well,
what broke. Unless the horse's neck broke and it died in a snap, then it doesn't look like it has, so
Okay.
it seems fine.
It is lying in a pool of blood and not responding.
Yeah. Its head is actually 80 feet away.
Oh no, his head made it to the rider.
Yeah.
His head's like a hormone buff.
Okay, so in this moment of
we were trying to send him.
beautiful celestial transcendence, Venora, you see surrounding her stars and constellations as she connects them all and connects these points between each of you, giving you
Each of us?
Yeah.
anybody that wants it.
Suppose.
8.
Everybody gets 8 healing.
How many people can you do?
As many as I can touch in 30 feet.
Did you sign the horse too?
I can touch
Actually, so she,
Well, if we're on either
if
side,
you're on either side of it,
Yeah.
just make a long line. It's so stupid.
Yeah, you just.
Everybody line up. It's like when the team is on either side of you and you're doing
Good
like
game, good game.
the high five
Good game.
thing.
Yeah.
That one guy does.
How much was it?
High-five you.
8.
Okay.
Immediately, I want to look at the horse's tracks before the pile of grease.
Your horse?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know
He's
my.
right
Well,
here.
I mean, I don't care
You want-
about my
okay.
horses. I want to look at his horse to see if it left tracks.
It definitely did.
I'll just try and take down some notes. on
Can
that,
make
what
an
the tracks
investigation
look
check.
like. Because if the horseshoes are distinct or anything.
I'll help him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have proficiency in investigation?
I can help him.
I have survival.
Okay, then
That's
Holik will help you.
I'll help him.
22.
Okay. You take pretty keen notes of some telling features about the tracks of this horse, specifically where some of the divots are at and stuff like that. You think if you see these tracks again, you would recognize them.
Cool. Could I use my cobbler's tools?
For
Because it's
what?
the shoes of a horse.
To do what?
Try to identify
What's
maybe
horse
their
shoes?
special
Shoes.
shoes. I don't know. You know?
Cobblers deal with
I mean,
horseshoes.
cobblers don't
Cobblers
do
do
horses
nothing
shoes.
with
Not
horseshoes,
typically,
so I'm
no.
going to say, I hate to just use this word, but no.
Dang it.
I would say if you had like Smith's tools or something like
Blacksmith,
that.
right? Smithing
Yeah.
for
Yeah. But
Somewhere
in
out
this case,
there.
I know you make
but you
fun
also
of my
don't have
voice,
access
you know,
to. You don't have access to it, but you do know that it looks like Edovard has taken pretty keen notes on what he. He seems pretty confident that he'll be able to recognize these again.
Somewhere there's a cobbler that's like, I love making horseshoes. And either
Actually,
actually.
was making wooden horseshoes.
Yeah.
All these people keep coming
gonna
in for
change-
shoes, and he's like, "Nope,
I
just
only
for
make
horses.
horseshoes.
Just,
I'm going to
just
change
for
the
horses."
stigma.
Yeah.
If you had his
I'm
commerce
going to
tools,
change this stigma.
you could.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though,
I'll be on the lookout.
I see a world where every horse has shoes.
where every horse wears clogs.
Yeah.
They're like the Dutch claws.
Slightly louder to
Yeah.
a normal horse.
Stealth at double
It's
disadvantage.
basically just large cups on
Yeah.
each of the.
Okay, Jude, roll d20.
I love d20s. 7.
Okay. The night goes by with
So
nothing.
What-
out of the
I
ordinary.
investigated the cart to see if anything was broken.
Oh, what was broken in the cart? The rear axle.
Can we like
Does anyone have mending?
try and fix that?
I
Mike?
apologized.
I mean, Lumen? You seem like you might be a guy with mending.
I have druid's craft.
Would you like to try and does anybody have? the
I'll
working
try. I'm
tools?
familiar with carts. If nothing else, I'll try.
You guys
and tie it
haven't
together.
made your backpack thing yet, so you
we
have
do
some,
have some
materials.
materials to make a backpack.
So you guys want to try and fix it?
I mean,
Yeah, I think
we
we
have
should.
tools.
I will
so-
try and
I mean,
fix
we have parts.
Do you have carpentry tools?
I don't have parts.
Okay, so it'll just be a straight roll.
Do we know if it's intelligence or?
I mean, this will probably be this will be intelligence.
Do you
Yeah.
get advantage or anything for having the land cart thing?
I'm good at controlling them
Oh, okay.
and stowing them, not really repairs.
That's where the
Yeah.
tool proficiency would be necessary.
I'm a licensed driver, but not a mechanic.
Really quick, who has what tools? Proficiencies. Or like toolkits? Like all toolkits.
Do you want to run through the
Nothing-
list right now?
nothing
'Cause
that
there's quite a
helps.
few.
Is there quite a few?
I mean,
Nothing
he
that
has
helps.
like a buttload.
I know he has a whole bunch. I know Lumen has a whole bunch of.
Could you make shoes for the
Yes.
cart?
Yeah.
As in the form of wheels.
Like,
If
It's
nobody
like-
has anything
it's
pertinent,
like a
I will roll
yeah.
for
Invention roll.
Yeah.
Maybe
Just
Louis
I can
can give you
ass-
some guidance.
I could probably
Yeah.
assist
Yep.
him, right?
Sure. I'll just allow. Yeah, you can have advantage, unless somebody else wants to do that, so you can give them guidance, like you were saying. So this is just a straight intelligence check.
Holy moly. I better roll well. I'm disappointed. And I have advantage?
Yeah.
We'll take the 12, plus
Oh.
3 is 15, plus 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20.
Man.
Man, what a team.
Where's the 3, 3, and the 2?
3
Yeah.
intelligence, you said.
Yeah. Well, you can't benefit from two guidances at the same time, can
Bardic
you?
inspiration.
I'm
Oh, she gave Bardic
inspired.
Inspiration. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Gotcha.
rad, dude.
How do you Bardically Inspire him? I didn't hear you say that.
Oh, I just told. I would just get down with you by the cart. It's this axle part. I think if you twist it and went that way, I think that's how you.
No
The most
offense,
annoying way.
Venora, but I know
back-
cars.
the backseat driver.
I try it just to make her feel better, and it immediately works. And I'm like, oh, that's I would have tried that.
you do a better job.
Venora,
He's like, well, then why didn't you offer to fix it? Okay, with a 20, you were confident that your fix will be suitable. You basically like whittled down a piece of wood so that it has kind of a concave shape that you're able to put around it. You tie it and glue it with all this equipment that they brought you. So,
All of it?
No, not all of it. He uses one plank of wood. He uses a fair amount of glue, and then you have some rope.
I do have a ton, yeah.
Okay, so you can cut some of that up, and I'll say you use 20 feet of it.
This one wheel has those hubcaps that spin.
But basically what you do is you take it and you fuse it back together at the
Yeah.
center.
Tension.
You basically splint it. You are confident it will be suitable. You're not sure for how long. And you are a little suspicious that if you get into anything a bit rowdy with the cart, probably going to break again.
I shouldn't drive if we get flamed again, because my temper gets a hold of me and I will give chase.
If you see something flaming coming, switch drivers.
All right, I'll drive if we see something flaming coming.
In the moment of
kill
explosion, you guys got to switch seats real
Oh,
quick.
boss coming.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So you're not in the wagon anymore, right?
I'm riding shotgun.
So day 3 of travel. Day 4.
Dude, we got to drive by.
Only 11 more to go.
Nope, 13 more to go.
13.
You said 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The day's travel is not interrupted by bad weather. It is nice, sunny. The day ends with some cloud cover, so it cools a little bit by about 5 to 10 degrees until finally sun is setting, and you are looking again for a good place to find camp. And as you are looking, you, Holik and Venora, the two of you begin to hear just this crackling. like a campfire. And as you kind of look around in the area, you see just over one of the little hills in these like rolling hills and prairies, you see the little flickering of like campfire.
Do we want to stop short?
This would not be short. I just said you're looking
Yeah.
for a place to camp right now.
And that's
But you said over the hills there's a fire. Do we want to
Yes.
stop here?
Honestly.
How far away is it?
The hill is like 30 feet away. It's like one of those little like
No,
where it's just like basically making so you can't see what's right behind it.
no.
I can send my bird again.
Like a grassy knoll.
I'll have Puke or whatever he's called come down and
Wow. I don't remember his name, but I don't
he doesn't have a name. He
You
doesn't
should
need
have
one.
him plague.
Right?
I was thinking of Pocket or Squib,
Squib.
but
I like that.
right now he's unnamed and
Okay.
send
He
him.
flies over. So you look through his eyes. Have him roll a perception check.
18.
Okay.
What a guy.
Just over, you see a simple camp. Not as masterfully crafted or beautiful as the last one you had him inspect. But you see a simple little camp with a couple rocks brought up to the fire, a smaller fire like the one that you guys made. You see sitting by it an older man, long, dark hair. As he kind of sits there, you can see a graying beard. He is roasting a little bird over the fire, and there's a moment where your raven, he feels sick to his stomach, and then he looks
And then
away
very
and,
hungry.
and he has to look back.
He'll eat it.
So an older man sitting by this campfire, roasting a small bird over the flames, as he's kind of soaring around, getting a good look. Like I said, the camp is simple. There's a small tent sitting near it, fairly close to the fire. A satchel at his side, the man's side, like a large kind of satchel. Really nothing else of interesting,
Are there any tracks leading to his camp spot?
in the dark, none that the bird notices.
Dark vision.
But the bird does notice as the man kind of looks up at him, kind of notices that the bird is just kind of flying around, so like clearly looking at him, whether
Yeah.
it's a natural bird or not, and kind of you see this man's face. It's kind of a smushed up face, almost bulldogish, as he kind of looks up at the bird and looks back down at the bird that's on the campfire. Looks back up and
I'm going to
chuckles
try
a little
and
bit.
resummon my bird. or blip it away into the ether.
Okay. As the man like continues what he's doing, the bird disappears.
The feather.
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
Then the bird from under the cart kind of hops
Everybody's
out.
like looking in the direction it left, and then you hear it behind you.
It seems like there's an old man cooking a bird and setting up camp for the night. We could try and partner up. Maybe have him take a watch. Makes it easier on us as a whole.
I'm not down. We can ask, and then if he doesn't want it in company, we'll just keep going on
Kill
a
him.
mile or so.
Yeah.
You're probably not the right one to approach, though,
No.
given the bandages and all.
Yeah.
I could do it because I have games.
Games.
Go for it.
I'll do it.
It was a man.
What, Ben don't like games?
Go get him.
Remember that.
I'll just half the pace, but continue in that direction and let someone go ahead. And
Okay. Who's approaching first over the little grassy knoll?
I'm not really
I'll
a
go.
talker.
I lead the way initially, but then I get scared to speak first, so I let Cephas speak.
Okay, you kind of step back a little bit.
I'll go with both of
Cephas, you guidance in the darkness. What this man can see.
And then
I-
we can go together.
Verbally say something so he's aware that I'm approaching.
Before you
Yeah.
approach over. Okay, what do you say?
Hello, traveler.
Okay.
I mean you no harm. I'm coming up here to your fire.
All right, so you walk over and you see him just kind of, he's sitting there. He hasn't gotten up or
Pulls out
no
an M60.
weapons at the ready. He's just looking up towards where you should be coming from. And you noticed he has this smushed in face. He's kind of
Like
looking
your
at
regular
you.
face.
Huh?
Like your
Yeah,
regular
just like
face.
my regular face. Like his lips are pursed out, his brow is furrowed, his nostrils kind of flare up a little bit, and he just looks up at you as you walk over, and he gestures to you to come sit down, and this big toothy smile as he just Hello. Welcome.
Well, hi there. I've got rather big party here, 7 more, if you'd be willing for us to
Well,
maybe...
we're going to need a bigger fire then.
Oh, well, we can help you.
Would you like to sit with us?
Us?
Well, he kind of like this little whistle, and you watch a little mouse up out of his satchel onto his shoulder.
Oh, well.
This here is Peter.
Peter, well, I like that name. Well, we can help you with the fire. We just thought, fellow travelers might as well help each other out. Titus, come here.
Well, the name is Tin. Puts his hand forward.
I take his hand first.
Titus swoops in.
Hi, I'm Titus.
Oh, nice to meet you, Titus. I didn't see you there.
He's excited. He's got games.
I like games.
I bring out the bars with the X's on them. I forgot. I still don't know what that game's called.
Ouija.
Okay.
I've got games. Want to speak to your dead answer? Fine, let's go this
We
way.
can play
to the
if you want.
cemetery.
Okay. I would very much like that. I thought I'd be alone for the night without entertainment, so I'd love to play a game.
I stare at Edivard for a second and then go to play.
I'm just cresting the grassy knoll with the cart.
And he looks up, seeing the rest
Getting
of the
ready
party
on the grassy knoll.
walking over. He just kind of, wow, quite a rambunctious lot, aren't you?
I'll
yeah.
gather more wood.
If you can help me gather some wood, we'll make a bigger fire. I have some food to share if you'd like. We can sit and tell stories, or we can play games, or we can just be very quiet if you'd rather. I just enjoy the company.
Are you a magician?
I am not.
Insight.
Okay.
Insight. Critical fail.
Okay.
Not a critical fail.
I believe him.
He is not.
Yeah.
I am, however, a master of conversation.
That's great. Did you, by any chance, see a rider come by on a black horse, red scarf?
I did. I did, yes.
Would you happen to be that rider in disguise?
No, as you can see, I have no horse,
I'd like
and
to
I
roll
wish I
insight.
had a scarf.
Like roll insight on the natural 20.
Okay. So he also rolled a
24.
natural 20.
24?
Okay. Come with me.
Oh boy!
This break brought to you by Toad's Tap House. The only place for people to go and interrogate a bartender by breaking his legs.
All right.
I stare at him for a long while. Let that
If I had a horse, Peter would have to fight for my attention.
Peter?
Yes.
Is the mouse.
You see as he kind of like looks over, and you see this little mouse on his shoulder. That when he reaches his hand forward to shake your hand, the mouse,
Peter.
and the mouse like stands on the end of his hand, like looking up at you.
Did Peter used to be a man? Because we had one of our friends turn into an animal too.
Oh my
Peter
god.
did not used to be a man.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I detect magic?
Sure, go for it. Oh, you're right.
I roll perfect.
Yeah. Detecting magic. You do detect. There is magic on Peter the mouse.
Magic on Peter the Mouse.
There is magic. Yeah, radiating off of him.
What kind?
Conjuration.
Well, this would know this. Byron does not. Conjuration and one again.
It's to conjure something.
Would that be the same for like a familiar though?
Like the
It's
Probably is it what my
It's
also
the same magic. I mean, the same school of magic. You're not able to detect a specific spell, but yeah.
While I'm also here, and like I think the group's all around me. What do I see any other like blatant magic on anyone else besides?
Any magic that you wouldn't be expecting? That's a good question. If any of you can think of a magical thing that he would pick up on that you haven't divulged to the group, you can text Byron. There's some eyes being stared at Edelvard for some reason.
Well, I mean, he's
I wish I had
familiar
a
with,
magical
right?
rapid.
Yeah, but he notices
Yeah,
that
I
pretty
didn't know
quickly.
that.
Probably my runes, yeah.
Yes. wherever those were inscribed.
Cool. And then I kind of go help Cephas grab some more wood and talk to him about what I saw.
With relative ease, you guys all gather some wood and bring it back as you're doing that.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
And talk to Peter.
Okay. Casting Speak with Animals, you kind of kneel down, and Tin looks up at you and, would you like to have words with Peter?
Sure, if I may.
And he kind of, and Peter there's a little chirping as Peter kind of climbs up to you and looks up at you, and you cast the spell.
Hello, Peter.
Hello.
Are you doing all right?
I'm doing mighty fine.
Good. Are you just a normal mouse? No?
I'm everything but a normal mouse.
Very good to know.
A very, very unnormal mouse.
What is that supposed to mean?
Are you just a normal man?
I guess not.
You do not smell like a normal man.
All right. I'll take it as a compliment.
Too much estrogen.
Cool. Do you have anything? I don't know.
Do I? I do not own any items.
Do you have any interesting tales?
He ponders for a long time, an excruciatingly long time, until finally, I watched two ants fight over the same crumb yesterday.
Peter's
incredible.
I drank too much water this morning and had to urinate twice.
Dreadful.
I
Riveting.
got very, very tired of the satchel because it started to smell like old meat. I was very happy when he asked me to come out. I'm a little warm by the fire right now.
Cool.
Do you have any interesting tales?
Yeah. We, Ryder came by and made an explosion.
An
And
explosion?
knocked me out.
That
When I
doesn't
came
sound
back
very
to-
interesting.
When I came back to, the cart had flew off the side of the road, spun around, and there was grease all over the road.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
In fact, I have no point of reference for an explosion.
Also, what is an explosion?
Yeah. I've lived most of my life in this bag.
That's unfortunate.
I quite enjoyed it.
Well, then that is wonderful.
Thank you.
This is a Versace bag.
Have a good day then.
You as well.
What a guy. That mouse.
Where are you coming
What
from?
about?
I'm sorry.
Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Port de Roe,
Ah,
and I'm on my way to Steelhaven.
Oh,
what's Haven?
Sorry?
Nothing. I think I'm going to lie down.
are you sure you're heading
I
the
go
right way?
to set up my bedroll.
I'm quite certain I'm heading the right way. North is the right way.
Oh,
Is it not? If I asked for directions back in Basin Point, and if they sent me the wrong way, I'd be very sad, but Basin Point is full of rambunctious swine, so perhaps,
because...
I see.
Oh, yeah, you're good. You're good. As long as you just don't go too far north.
I don't intend to. I intend
there's
to go
farther-
west at
yeah.
Sunwall.
I was just nervous for a moment. I thought that we were past it, but I was incorrect.
Riveting. So, there were games spoken of, correct?
Yeah, 5 games.
Good. All right, so you guys, if nothing else, enjoy some games. He offers in trade for some company. He says, if you would stay with me and share my fire and camp here, and share your games with me. I would love to divulge your ears with some stories.
I would love to share stories and hear your stories.
Well, that would mean quite a lot to me. I am a very simple man. I enjoy
Insight.
Okay. He's lying. He's a complicated man. Who really is simple? Three. I mean, you don't pick up on a lie from his words.
I'm so simple.
I was raised by wolves. Just kidding.
I was about to do an insight check.
Like your average man, I was raised. In the
I'm a very
wilderness
simple
by
man. I was
wolves.
raised by wolves.
In a jungle.
There's a book written about it.
I grew up in Fort Trinity with two very loving parents, and they taught me the ways of masterful conversation, and also how to respect and accept a good meal and good company, and
a good God. Have you heard of Ilmater?
I've certainly heard of the church. Never taken much interest, but I have heard.
No interest then? Well, then let me tell you a story.
Sure.
And I want to tell him one of the best stories of Ilmater. About the time that these orphans were about to be slaughtered by this raiding party of goblins, right? Goblins. And Ilmater came in and, rather than killing the goblins, took all of the blows from the goblins, and because of his sheer mercy, was able not only to save the orphans, but to convert the goblins.
Convert them into what?
Followers.
They all just became pigs.
And I like this story, and I say it often because I'm trying myself to love goblins, and it's hard. So I retell the story of Ilmater's love for goblins so that I might as well.
Do you explain that element to him? Yeah.
It's a bit. I'm vulnerable with this man. Should I roll persuasion?
Sure.
His name is Tim.
Should I roll
Tin.
vulnerability?
Should I roll
TIN.
deception?
And we.
I roll for
Does he have a
vulnerability.
distinguishable race?
Of him?
23.
He seems just like an old human man.
Okay.
23.
He kind of wipes a few tears from his eyes. It's quite a moving tale. I think those teachings are correct.
I hand him the Ilmater track.
It's not Oh, thank you. It's not simply a matter of defending oneself and body and reciprocating, but sometimes taking violence and ending it to promote peace. Actually, there's another god who that story reminds me of. I've heard a similar tale in his name. Actually, his name is Eshenar, the peacekeeper. There's a very similar story of something he did where he promotes above all else the ending of violence and never turning to even righteous, what some would call righteous anger, but instead always looking the other direction. And there's a story of how he, in facing a draconic attack on a city, he stood and instead of rallying the troops like his brother Andraste would, he stood in the way of the flames and with divine radiance he blocked them until finally the dragon was willing to speak with him. And then he learned that the dragon was simply just hungry. Very similar. It's interesting.
Yes.
Some of the gods share strange similarities.
Well, I wouldn't call them strange. They're similar, but not strange, right?
True. Those that would promote, I think,
Many have mercy,
altruistic.
many have grace, many have love. But there's only one that has them all.
Miradine.
Yeah.
Ilmater.
Miradine.
Oh, and then Ilmater. But I will look further into this. I at the very least will take your tale with me and retell it.
Very good.
Do you have any fun stories of your own?
Oh. Well, I guess since we're on the topic of gods and divine beings, I have heard a tale. Are you familiar with Oli Damara?
Am I familiar with Old Tomorrow?
Roll a religion check.
Never heard of it.
I'll do
Sure.
it.
Yeah,
Hey, I might know it.
it'll look good.
7.
19 plus 6.
Holy cannoli.
25? Okay. What was yours?
7.
You definitely have not.
I had an 18.
18, yeah. So Holic and Lumen both.
What are we rolling?
Religion. See if you recognize the name Oli Damara.
20, nat 20.
A natural 20?
Your
0.
Okay. So the three of you know to varying degrees something about him. Oli Damara is known as the trickster, the fiend, which is interesting because fiends are known as being, devils and demons, but this is a deity who is just in a joking way referred to as the fiend. Also known as the jester. He is one who, above all else, absolutely revels in the sight of tricking others. It's something as simple as a prank or a joke, or something that he might find funny, but an entire nation would not. Like a horribly, horribly sad set of circumstances caused by one simple mistake, and he would find to be very funny.
that sounds like me.
That's what you know of him.
And he's telling us the story of him?
He just asked if you've ever heard of him.
I have not, actually.
Heard of him?
I have.
Well, this story's, in fact, not entirely about him. But him, there is a divine being known as Odros. Not a god per se, but a lesser god, I guess. Similar in power and strength as Oli Damara. Some know him as a fixer of sorts. On a cosmic level, he travels planes of existence, and whoever may present him with opportunity, he helps fix it. If they have a problem. There's a tale of the deity known as Lakshmi. You may roll religion if you wish.
Oh. I'm pretty religious tonight, I guess.
Okay.
I know
17.
Okay.
Very sure.
13? Okay, you've heard of him. He explains, Lakshmi, Lakshmi is known as Lakshmi the Avaricious, the god of wealth, the great red serpent. And he says, Lakshmi is a hoarder. Lakshmi is jealous and selfish and hoards mountains of wealth. But he is not evil. He does not have evil intent. He is a lover of treasure and wealth, and he sits in a grand cathedral filled with gold and jewels and treasures of immense beauty. And he keeps a careful record in his mind of exactly the amount of gold. It is said that he knows down to the copper piece the value of his treasure and the value of his hoard. And he noticed over the course of a few nights, here and there, a gem was going missing, or a couple barrels of gold was gone. Now, to the vast expanse of his wealth, this was drops in a pond. But to him, it was everything. It was all of it. To allow that to slip, he might as well let it all. So he left. He left in search of it. And he failed. He could not find it. He searched for eons for these barrels of treasures, and some of them were ancient relics from eons past and rumored to have been from worlds that no longer exist. This racked him for centuries, these simple barrels of gold and treasure missing. Odros heard of his plight and found him and offered to... Lakshmi begged him to fix his issue. Odros is in the business of any issue. You have a mechanism not working, he fixes it. You have people or things in the place they don't belong, he puts them back. He fixes problems, and Lakshmi implored him to do just that, and Odros said he'd do his best. Said that Odros counted that wealth because he had to be certain that what Lakshmi assured him to the copper piece, exactly what should be there and exactly what was missing. It is said that Odros spent nearly 40 years counting that wealth. Not once, not twice, not even 3 times, but 4 individual times. And it turns out Lakshmi was correct. He was missing down to exactly the copper piece. 4,243,601 gold pieces. 1,000 rare emeralds, 240 diamonds, the biggest anyone had ever seen, a jewel, all colors and one, shines bright like a star, and a painting he particularly loved. All of these things gone from his hoard. And Odros confirmed this with Lakshmi, and Lakshmi was furious. He said, "You spent 40 years telling me exactly what I told you." Odros told him, "Well, you be patient, I can fix your plight, but I have to be certain of what I'm looking for." There was a secret Odros was keeping. In that 40 years, he had found exactly where the gold went. And he told Lakshmi that he would fix it, but he did not tell him where it went. In all that gold and counting, he found a rat. A rat that just so happened to be a deity. A brother of his, not a brother of Lakshmi, excuse me, a brother of Odros. This was Oli Damara, his younger brother, who, without fail, will get himself in trouble for no reason other than to see the look on the faces of those who hate him. Odros did not feel right about turning him into Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the great worm, the red serpent, the fiery death. To turn his brother over to him, most assuredly it meant death. Suffice to say, eventually Lakshmi found out. There's differing accounts on the tale of how. Some say he found them in conference, discussing how he was going to sneak Oli Damara out of the horde, and others say that they were attempting to retrieve the gold, and Lakshmi found Odros to not be there too long until he went out and found him, trying to peddle gold from other deities or disguising himself as a mortal and asking for it or doing jobs for it. And he was determined, said that he would bring it all back, every little bit of it. But the sheer amount of it, a drop in the pond to Lakshmi's hoard, was an insurmountable amount to achieve in just such a short amount of time. And Lakshmi burned them both to death. And that's it.
Killed them both?
Insight on the end of that story?
Okay.
That took a turn.
23.
23. Seems to be telling the truth as best as you're aware.
So Lakshmi, I rolled that nat 20. Do I know what his holy symbol is, or
His holy symbol, It is a coiling serpent, not like the Ouroboros, but instead this kind of infinity, right? Ouroboros almost. And surrounding it is just gold and jewels. There's this, and I mean, the more intricate the... Huh?
Do I notice that
on him?
Anywhere in the camp.
Make a
on
perception
him
check.
specifically, yeah. 15.
No.
That's crazy. So he just
So
I
he
heard
never get
this
his
said.
gold back?
None have seen Oli Damara, as far as accounts have said, for centuries. I heard the story from a Lakshmi worshipper. It could be a bit tilted in his favor, I suppose.
Well, thank you for the story.
I will say other accounts I've heard speak of a grander foolery, a grander trick played, in that Odros was never there. Both of them were Oli Damara himself,
Oh.
and he was never present to be killed. And the gold was never taken, but instead he had been slipping it inside Lakshmi's mouth each night while he slept, till he had swallowed all of it. I like to think that's how it happened.
I like that one better. I'm going
I've
to put
unfortunately
that one as
heard
the end
more
of mine.
tellings the other way.
I'm going to put this one as the end of my story, though.
Well, I'm sure that there are fewer outspoken worshippers of Oli Damara than
I've never met one.
I'm gonna try and
So-
get my raven to hop behind him and just poke his head in the satchel.
Okay. Make a stealth check for the Raven.
Hey, were we in darkness?
Huh?
Are we in darkness now?
Yeah.
I have advantage.
Okay.
Not very good. Better. Oh, it's an 18.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. Does the Raven have dark vision?
It does.
It's still a disadvantage, but let's see what he sees.
So straight. Wait, disadvantage? Why?
But he's disadvantage in total darkness on his
Oh,
vision.
so
But this
it's
is
a straight roll. It's 19.
19, okay. He pokes his head in. That was just for the perception, the disadvantage, not the stealth.
Yeah.
Okay. He pokes his head in ever so quietly. You watch him do it. He like sneaks up and then goes into the satchel.
I want him to. He knows.
He sees Peter sitting there, coiled up,
Whoops.
in a little wooden cup, sleeping. This little mouse just sleeping in a cup. He sees a couple books. He sees a flute. He sees
Titles on the book?
Huh?
At this point, I go into the Raven.
Yeah. That's the only reason I was telling you what you saw.
The titles on the book?
The book title, there is no title on it.
Okay.
It looks like a leather-bound journal of sorts. Some ink bottles, a quill, a flute, a little mouth harp.
Mouth harp?
Yeah.
Okay. Ding, ding.
Yep.
Whoa.
And some travel rations. And a gold chain.
What a wild end to... And a gold chain.
Yeah.
What
and,
can I say?
and little Pete like sleeps with it on.
He's going to try and
Massive.
grab the flute.
Grab the food?
Flute.
Make a slide. Oh, the flute? Make
The
a sleight of
flute.
hand. I was like, he is an animal.
I doubt he's got any of that business.
It's got it. It's just it's got advantage. Just give it
4.
Oh. Maybe not. He starts playing the music of
Smart bird.
Oh man.
Oh. Okay, roll it.
He starts playing police sirens as he's trying to like get the flute
Jesus.
out.
What'd you roll?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. He grabs the end of the flute, is about halfway out, and then he exhales because the bird breathes, and immediately, as he's telling the story, he says, you know, I like to imagine that that's really how the tale goes, and I've heard from a... He looks over at his bag where the raven looks up, holding his flute in its mouth.
I'm going to try and play it.
As the raven?
Yeah.
From the wrong end?
No, I'm out of the Raven now. I'm just telling the Raven to play it.
Okay, with disadvantage, have the Raven make a performance check.
That's worse. That's bad. I doubt it gets a bonus to its charisma. It gets a serious detriment. 8. 8.
Okay, and while you're doing that, this clay against the side of the face of the old man who and looks at you.
I was wondering if do you worship any particular god?
I do not. But he
Get out of
holds
there.
this clay
Get out of
in
there,
his
Raven.
hands.
Get out of there.
You just threw clay at him?
The
It's mine. Careful.
He's holding it. The Raven. Wait, what was the roll?
8.
Yeah. Just horribly through the flute. Most of it is his shrieking, and then the beak kind of closes around it enough, and he shoves it through deep enough in his throat that it like plugs his throat so that the air actually goes through it. So there's like. It's pretty horrible.
Fly away.
With the flute? Yeah. Okay. Flying off into the darkness. That was my. Do any of you know that bird?
Yeah, that's Edivar's bird.
You birds stole my flute.
Yeah, why was it going through the bag?
It's a curious bird.
And what is this clay about? Were you playing a distraction
I'm
to
going
me
to
so
bed.
that he could steal my flute?
Wait a minute, bring the
I told you a
back.
story.
I didn't even
It's
know
a free
the
bird.
bird doing that.
What is this clay?
It's a divine clay.
It's very soft. Here you are.
This guy just forgot about it.
Good time, Mike.
Distraction worked.
May I have my flute back?
You'd have to find the bird.
Well, it's your bird. Can you go get it?
Bird. Bird.
Oh, it's okay. I can shoot it down.
It's a pesky bird. I can't even see it.
Make a deception check.
I'm good at that. -1.
In about 20 feet away, you just hear.
I'll try a little bit harder. The bird comes back.
Huh?
The bird comes back.
Okay.
Lands at the guy's feet.
Lands at the feet. The flute, end of the flute kind of hits the ground and goes into the back of the bird's throat, and he spits it out. Just the end of it, just gross.
Oh.
He picks it up. The night was going so well.
Weird.
I think I'll go to bed. It's a pleasure meeting all of you.
That wasn't very nice, Edivar.
You'll have to talk to the bird.
Were you going to say something?
I was just wondering if you follow a god.
Oh, I do not. But I quite enjoyed the tale of Ilmater here.
I'll show you Almader's symbol.
What?
Almader.
The symbol?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys see is this again, you watch this intricately crafted, beautifully sculpted set of bound hands, bound by, this red thread or cord, and at the center of the hands there are
I cast
slices.
bless on you.
Okay. Slices down the hands that you see what looks like real blood kind of trickling
And
down.
on
10.
bulldog face.
10.
10? Okay, a grand amount of emotion travels through even just his symbol. I find it to be very rewarding. Like I said, I will continue to look into it, and I will try a prayer when I can.
Very sorry about your flute. I'll keep an eye on the bird.
All is forgiven. I understand that wandering eye sees what it likes and wants to take it. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't pocketed a few shiny things from time to time that I found to be very rewarding.
Check my pockets.
Okay. Quickly. Nothing seems to be missing. He hasn't moved an inch since you all sat here.
Everybody's already.
Peter is a master thief. Well, good night, everyone.
Right.
You still may set your tents up here if you wish. And thank you for the games, Titus.
You're welcome.
Yeah, in Peter's wooden cup, there's a single copper piece that he stole from a very particular hoard.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, no.
No.
I was like, wait, what?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So you guys enjoy a night of rest?
I don't. I watch him all night.
Yikes, okay.
Well, that's one way to get an exhaustion.
Roll a constitution saving throw.
How do you get rid of an exhaustion?
Once you take a long rest, it goes away.
13.
Okay. All right. So a night of rest, but not for Edovard. You watch him the entire night.
Yeah.
He's in his tent.
Yeah.
But he never leaves the tent, and you don't see Peter leave the tent.
Why wouldn't you, when we take watch, just rest? What?
12 is my roll.
We can.
Nothing
take
crazy
watches
happens
here.
throughout the night.
I'm not interested. I'm interested in looking at him, watching him.
In the morning, however, if you do stay up all night, and whoever's on watch at the end, we'll just say it's Titus, you do see him wake up very early, about an hour before the sun rises.
Steal all your stuff.
He loads up all of his stuff into his pack. He cleans up the cooking pot where he was cooking that bird the night before. And he says his goodbyes to the two of you since you're the two up. And it's very honorable to take a two-person watch. Make sure that morning is safe. Thank you for the company last night. I would have been alone otherwise, to my own thoughts and to Peter's.
For the trouble of the flute incident, I pull out a little brass mechanical canary and hand it to him.
We're going the same way.
No good gesture necessary.
I'm just looking to get rid of it, primarily. It
Well,
pokes
then
me.
even more reason for me not to take it. Have a good one. Edovard, right? And Titus.
Thanks for sharing.
He never
stories.
said his name.
I never told you.
That's not true.
It is true.
I said
The big one there said that's Edovard's bird. My mind is about a steel trap.
I never said my name.
Have a good one. And he leaves.
I don't trust people who are alone.
Well, he wasn't alone. He had Peter.
You were alone at one point.
So you think? I'm never alone.
You're never alone when you're alone with fake friends at home.
Okay. So your next day of travel,
We're going the same direction as him.
Oh boy.
you are.
So are we going to catch up with him?
Probably not. You might.
I mean,
Leaves
if
an
we
hour
have any,
before you. If you guys travel faster, which odds are you aren't because of the cart.
And God's traveling a lot faster.
Yeah.
Assuming he's a god. Yes. The only one that can touch the surface of the planet.
So now Jarrett rolls d20 and you roll a watch?
You guys don't really know about
D12.
that,
Yeah.
D12.
We don't, do we?
no,
2.
nothing changed.
I mean, globally, people know that nothing changed.
I know.
That a lot has changed, but they don't know. They don't have a reason. Some might, but 2.
2.
Good weather. Oh, actually, roll a d8.
Death weather.
Death weather.
8.
Good weather and nothing out of the ordinary. Light overcast, a warm day. The air's a little thick, but nothing crazy.
I did it.
D20, David. So that's day 4 of travel.
That was our fastest day of travel. So that should be day.
Let's see how the night goes.
Or
Okay.
Do we find him at night again?
That should be
Or does
day.
he just
My roll
No,
should be
see him
day
again.
5.
Huh?
Day 5.
1, 2,
That's fine.
3, 4, 5.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Night Watch was no modifiers, right?
It's
This
just
is
a
a
D20
roll.
roll.
Yeah.
But you guys all wake up safe and sound. Ghibly, you fell asleep. You were last watch. But nobody seems to notice. You wake up first, realizing you were asleep and you don't know how long. Nothing seems to have happened.
You could have let us. A spider could
All
have
right,
come
Jude,
and
roll
just
D12.
killed us all.
Oh boy. 8.
The most.
The most fabulous number of all. 8.
8.
Roll a D8.
Oh boy. 1.
Drive by shooting.
Could I
Is
also
this
cast
safe?
Druid Craft to figure out what the weather's going to be like?
What it's going to be like?
Yeah, the next 24 hours.
Sure, at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Druidcraft is.
Go ahead. You do that at the beginning of the day before you guys start traveling?
Yeah.
What's the range on that? Because I wonder how Druidcraft reacts to travel. Say, I'll just tell you. It doesn't
It'll
matter.
be at your location. That's all it says.
Okay. Then I will say, as you are traveling, you know the weather to be good, to be, nothing crazy. But about halfway through the day, you realize, are you doing it throughout the day, or does it just tell you?
That's what it says. I mean, I can continue doing it. It's
It's a golden orb. Yeah. Okay. At your location for the next 24 hours. Okay. Yeah, at the beginning of the day, you create a golden orb, and it indicates clouds. There's nothing. It indicates overcast and no rain.
Okay. I just wanted to use it because I've never got to use it.
It's like
In the second half of the day, the clouds grow darker and darker and darker, and rain never comes. The temperature does not change, however. It's thick and muggy and hot.
Yeah.
And as you were traveling, Hulk, and just Hulk, actually, you notice the hair on the back of your neck prickle. There's a strange feeling in the air. Something is off. And as you kind of look around, this loud crack as lightning strikes 80 feet ahead of you. A cacophonous crash through the air, surrounding all of you as this bright light fills your vision. The horse rears up terrified and runs off the road. Edelvard, as you're driving, the horse starts to turn and start to run.
Oh, it's still
with the cart.
Okay.
Pulling the cart with you. Roll a d20 for the integrity of the cart.
Can I roll something to maintain control? 7.
7, okay. The cart, you hear a little, but it has not broken or stopped. As you guys are continuing off the road now, you may make an animal handling check.
Animal handling. Do I add my proficiency to this?
Yes. That's fine.
6.
6?
Yeah.
The horse is just booking it. Off the road into the fields.
I turn to Hulk and say,
and as you open your mouth, another this loud sound, completely rendering you both mute. Go ahead, what do you say to him?
should I put the horse down?
No.
to sleep.
All of you watch as
to
now,
sleep,
just
sure,
150
yes.
feet away, the cart is off in the grass as
I lay down.
lightning again surrounding you, and then you watch miles away, lightning. You're in the midst of a lightning storm.
I'm shelled.
In in plains of
In
grass.
open plains, not a hill higher than 5 feet in sight.
No trees to get away from.
What are you doing?
I'm just going to try and reel in the horse.
Run after the
Roll,
car.
animal handling
Will you
check.
help me?
Yeah, I'm gonna help him try and get this horse to calm.
I
the
toss
heck
you the
down.
leads, and I help
Okay.
you.
So then I will try. Animal
How
handling.
far away
Yeah,
are they
you have
from me?
advantage.
From you, the cart is like 150 feet away now.
Jeez.
Well, I'm going to start running towards them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'd say you can catch up to it because it's not moving super, super fast. I mean, it's, bumping everywhere.
11.
11? Okay. What are you trying to do?
Trying to calm down the horse.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were
Or the
giving him
leads.
advantage. Gotcha.
He was
I'm
giving
giving
me
him
advantage.
Okay. The horse just finally starts to calm down and kind of slow down to a leisurely kind of canter, but not a sprint anymore, and is still like jumping up and like fighting you with everything it's got, but it is listening to you. You catch up to the horse pretty quickly.
I'm going to try to physically hold the horse steady.
Okay, roll a strength
In
check.
front. Can I roll athletics?
Yeah, that's fine.
I pull out my spell book and just have it open.
13.
13. The horse rolled a 4, so you hold the horse there in place. Go on. There's silence for a few moments, as you watch some lightning bolts far in the distance, and you hear the thunder just moments later. What are you guys doing?
Is Titus still on the ground?
Yeah, I'm shelled up.
I
On the
shake
road.
your shell.
Trying to get the horse back on the road.
Titus, we have to get out of the road. We have to at least get in the grass.
Get in the grass.
No.
Okay. So you
I
guys
do as
all
I'm told.
convening around the cart, or what?
Cart. Get to the cart.
Clonus is gonna stay a little bit away from them.
Yeah.
And he's gonna take off all of the metal that he has, so like his armor.
Take about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He's still gonna try.
He's starting? Okay.
Starting. Doesn't care.
Just basically tell me what you're starting to do here. So you start
Does the horse
disrobing.
know you very well?
but keeping clothes on.
Few weeks.
Okay, so it's not going to come running back to us.
No.
I'll go to the horse.
I'm just trying to
Guy,
get
we need to
Titus
get metal
to
off
the
of us. Lightning.
At this
And I'll
moment,
help with that as well.
I'm continuing to try
Cephas.
to prevent the
Yeah.
make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
with disadvantage. Oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
7.
Everybody
did
else,
they gain
except for
their
Clonus, make a dexterity saving throw. No,
No,
Everyone else, even me.
except for Clonus.
Oh, except for Clonus. Sorry.
23.
23 is an interesting number.
Ooh.
You take 23 lightning damage.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, what? That's a D.
3. Okay. You take 12 lightning damage. Nora?
15.
You take 12 lightning damage. Oh no, I'm sorry. You also take 12.
I had my book out ready. I cast Absorb Elements.
Absorb elements? Sure.
So I take
was your
7
dex save?
again. 23.
Okay, so you would take 6, halved to 3. They failed their save.
He failed and took 23.
It struck him.
Oh, that's right.
It did not strike everyone else.
14.
Okay, so 12 lightning damage,
And then 20.
6 lightning damage. You were not there, Bullock. Drake.
it's 13 for me
Okay,
and
12 lightning.
6 for him.
Okay, so 12 lightning. In a moment, as you're all trying to gather to decide what to do, as Cephas is clutching the horse. That's a fail for the horse. I mean, the horse is restrained, so he had disadvantage anyway. Or not restrained, he's grappled. You are deciding, right? We need to get back on the road as she has pulled Titus out, and Titus is,
we're laying
down
the grass.
in the lowest grass he can, and you are running up to the horse to try and help with the horse. Those of you around the cart watch in just an instant as Cephas, taller than everyone else, covered in his own bits of metal and stuff, but still, bolt of lightning strikes his head, racks through his body. Cephas, there's a moment where everything goes bright white and you feel nothing.
Little Major.
It is him.
Your glory.
But you push through it, right? How much did you resist of it?
7.
Okay. Still, a tremendous amount. An instinct kicks in, your skin tightens, and your muscles swell as all of you are thrown back and adjacently struck by this lightning. In that moment, the cart, the back of the cart now catches on fire.
We gotta put that out.
I'll put out the fire, you calm down the horse.
Is the horse? Does he go limp in my hands?
In that very moment as well.
If he does, I want to lay on hands. Of course.
In that very moment as well, a downpour of rain. Just an absolute deluge. Just sheets and sheets of rain.
Don't worry about that fire.
The fire will go out pretty soon. You are confident. The horse, just like it's like spasming. You're not sure if it's dead and like in the middle of just still spasming. But it's like its eyes are just clouded over white and it's like shaking. It's limp in your hands, in your arms.
Spare the dying.
On the horse?
I'm holding it, so the moment that happens, I just give it 5 hit points.
Okay. You hit with Spare the Dying, 5 hit points into the horse. You watch its eyes kind of roll back forward, and it's like it just raspy breathing. You see its coat is charred, and there's little bits of it that look burned. All down its back, the kind of like chestnut brown that it has to it, there is a this electrical pattern of like almost bleached color to it, all down its back. We're just like,
Now it's an aesthetic horse.
We just got like a.
you got a skin for your horse.
Yeah, we got a skin for our horse.
Assuming it survives. But in that moment, realizing the gravity of the situation, what are all of you doing to try and remedy it?
Spread out.
Immediately just get under the cart
Okay.
and bring Puke with me.
You what?
Bring my raven with me.
You get on the cart, you said?
Under.
Under the cart.
I stand on the cart, take all my metal items, wiggle around.
Okay.
How many people can fit under the cart?
It can
Probably-
seat 4 people.
I would say if you're laying down under it, like 5.
Titus, do we want to stay here or do we want to go towards the cart?
And I tell Cephas,
I don't know.
back up from the horse. Lightning can strike twice.
Not in the same spot, it won't.
No, that's wrong. It's a wife's tale.
My wife never. Wait a minute, I don't have one.
I'm really hard.
Unless you put her to sleep, I'm gonna have to send her off.
I can't sleep on the horse.
All right.
Okay.
When
Oh,
are you telling me you're doing
Does
this?
it?
Well,
Doesn't it?
what's
have
the
to-
minimum on sleep? Isn't it 5? The minimum? It's 5d8s,
5,
right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the horse crashes to the ground asleep.
Hopefully you don't let it.
Well, it doesn't. I'm not saying it hurts itself. It just crashes. To the
I'll
ground.
let it down slowly, and then I'll
Okay.
back up.
I'm gonna crawl underneath the cart.
Okay, so
We can-
basically everybody's getting one thing to do here.
Okay.
You cast sleep and dive underneath the cart. You dive underneath the cart. Is your Drake going underneath the cart? He looks at you and I can run.
Run.
He just
Wait, actually,
stops. You strike him with lightning.
no. I point at him and start to channel some energy, and from the front to the back, his scales just kind of flip over, and they all turn blue,
Oh, okay.
and he becomes a blue drake. Whoa. And he's immune to lightning.
Well, you can do that in an instant.
Yeah.
I can once per day resummon him.
As an action.
Yeah, as an
And
action.
it changes dragon.
And I can choose
That's
what
so
type
broken.
every time that I do it.
I thought it was a morning thing, like or whatever. Wow.
It's
okay.
so cool.
Very cool. So in that, you see just a little trail of lightning from your finger, and with that, they all flip over.
That's
This
so cool.
like tremendous display as he now immune to lightning. You watch him knowing exactly what to do. Basically, a spirit of nature, born of the earth. He runs to the tallest hill he can find and stands straight up. Yeah. Now, he's about 6 feet tall if he stands straight up, so we'll see what happens.
My guy.
That's amazing.
Colonus, you are still taking off.
Close takes off all the metal, puts it in a pile, and then runs and puts his cloak over the top of it.
You're not going to get all of it off before the next set of lightning, but you
I
do
know.
get your...
as much as the big items I can.
Yeah. You take off, like your pauldrons, you start
Yeah.
getting your gauntlets off.
Yeah. No, I have a cloak.
And you're
I have
throwing them,
garments.
20 feet away from you into a pile.
Exactly.
And you guys all spread out?
I run 30 feet away and stick my greatsword into the ground, and then I will dive back under the cart.
Okay. So the people under the car right now, Cephas, he's going to take up 2 spots.
I'll lie flat.
Edovard, that's 3. There's 2 more spots underneath the cart.
I would help.
If there's anybody that can't go under,
Well,
I'll step out.
I'll be next to it, shelled up.
Okay.
Oh, I thought, okay.
So Venora and Ghibly, you go under?
No,
I didn't
I didn't go under.
Oh, you don't? Okay, there's still
just-
2 spots under it.
You go under. Your wings.
Okay. Lumen, 1 more spot underneath the cart.
Sure.
Venora. Okay. Pollock, what are you doing?
If there was someone that wanted under the cart that didn't have room for it, I would have stepped out. But
Okay.
I'll stay under.
Well, I didn't count. It was...
Oh, okay.
Oh,
then I'm out.
he was
that's
already
fine.
under there, so I will
Oh,
stay out.
okay, well,
I
then
was
that spot was
just
already taken before Venora.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to throw my tent over top me.
Your tent?
Yeah, just the canvas of it.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay. And you like lie on the ground?
Yep.
Okay. Away from the cart or next to the cart?
Yeah, beside it.
Beside it?
No. 15 feet away.
Okay. And you are underneath the cart, under the cart, beside the cart, right? Beside the cart. What are you doing, Ghibli?
You said you were running away from the tent.
I ran 30 feet away, stuck my greatsword into the ground, stick it up, and then lay down flat under the cart and ran back. So
right,
30 there. 30
I just feel
back.
like you give like, Ghibli! Under the tarp!
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're dashing, you just quickly pull your sword out, and then... What do you do, Ghibli?
Ghibli's under my tarp.
I dash under her.
Okay. And Clonus, you are alone, flat on the ground as much as possible,
In
while
the rain.
taking off your armor, throwing it over away from you. Okay, so basically we have 3 possible points of contact. Actually, 4, sorry. 4 possible points of contact for the party. Clonus, the cart, and Venora / Ghibli. So the cart...
the Drake.
And
the Drake. Yeah, he's the 4th
And
one.
sword.
The sword, sure, yeah. The sword, so 5. So we will weigh this based off of how many people are in each spot. So the cart gets 1, 2...
You struck me because I was the tallest. I've got to be flat, laying flatter than my...
I just rolled to see who it struck, and it was
Oh,
you.
really? Okay.
So with the number of people underneath the cart, that's Titus, Cephas, 2, Edelvard, 3, Lumen, 4. So 4.
When it gets to the next turn,
5.
I was going to get out
Oh,
of the
hold on,
cart.
this one.
Like just in turn order. Because of absorb elements, my next attack, when it hits, does that elemental damage that
Are you
I
gonna attack
resisted.
something?
I'm going to throw my axe as far as I can. And little
Oh,
lightning
and try
bolts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the next set of if anyone's doing anything. All right, and then as you are all lying on the ground, Titus. You get shot. You get struck by lightning.
Oh, I hope
While
that gets
in
picked
your
up.
while in your shell form, you have disadvantage on dexterity saves, right? Go ahead.
Dang.
That's rough.
16.
Hey.
16. Okay, so you'll take half.
Sorry, the save from Mother Nature's 22.
The shell just gets struck.
So 24 half to 12 lightning damage. You are like shaking around inside your shell. You feel the back of your shell crack and splinter as you just spin around outside the cart.
You become a blue shell.
And in that moment, Edelvard, you jump out just after seeing that happen, and you throw your axe as far as you can. So that will add another possible person for this round.
Can I second win?
Sure.
Hey, thank you.
Okay. So each of these rounds is not a
Can I
6
lay
second
on
round.
hands
They are about a minute each. Huh?
Can I lay on?
Sure. Go ahead. You just tell them how much you use. And with that, laying there, taking off all your gear, make a dexterity saving throw, Clonus.
Come on, get
Just
that
buck
roll.
naked, getting struck by lightning.
I'm free!
He just stands up. I got out of my.
You took off everything, but you have a gold tooth.
Is that a fail?
Let's see. Uno, momento, dexterity, negative, so it'll be 1, 0. The total is 0.
20 lightning damage.
Oh. Somehow put more armor on. Somehow.
Dude, we see your skeleton.
Okay.
like
There's
Home
about a
Alone.
minute of recovery from that one. You guys all watch as laying on the ground out there, Clonus.
I'm gonna healing hands myself because I don't want to die.
Okay.
I also like to cure wounds.
Okay. There's about a minute of off in the distance. One of them very close, but you only see the flash. You don't see the bolt of lightning. Until
The axe.
you watch the Drake.
Oh.
Yes!
Unfazed.
so
You guys just see on a hill, 80 feet ahead of you, just this standing tall with his claws stretched up to the sky, and between his open claws, just it crackles between his claws, strikes the like horn on his head, and goes right down into the ground, straight through him. as he just stands there
For half a second.
He's still crackling with energy. Anything during that minute?
He then passes out because he got scared.
He's completely immune to the damage, right?
Yep, 100% immune.
He just got really scared.
Still standing there. He takes another one. Now, more off in the distance. It's been like 5 minutes at this point. Have you just been sitting there? 2 of you have been, or 3 of you now over the course of this have been struck by lightning.
Dude, Vith taken 2.
That's rad.
Oh man, I love him.
Clonus.
Oh my god.
All of you lie there. Clonus, you see there's a fraction of a second where straight up above you, you see forming the path of lightning, and then it veers off to your gear.
Oh.
And you watch all of the metal gear just like fly around in the air for a second.
Dude.
Another minute goes by
I
of
lean out
distant
like this.
lightning.
Told you guys.
MLG Pro, he's
Is everybody still alive?
all right. Roll call.
More in the distance. Nobody is struck.
I hope that old man's still alive.
A minute goes by and nobody is struck. Are you guys still hiding?
Yes.
Is it still deluging?
Still raining.
As long as it's raining, I'm standing under the tarp.
I'd wait a good 5 minutes before I even run
How long does sleep last?
until it's disturbed. But lightning strikes are weird.
Clonus again! He just made a side eye at Clonus.
Make a dexterity saving throw, Byron. I've severely weighted it in favor of the Drake, but you still have a 1. Actually, I'm sorry, hang on. No, I should roll, because I'm going to say at this point you've taken off all your gear. So there's a 25% chance that it's still you, even on a roll for you, and it might veer off because your gear's close enough to you, but far enough away you don't.
So 1 in 4.
Okay, there's a moment where you feel it. It's right above you, and
Your
then
hair is on fire.
over to your gear again.
The horse is awake. The horse is awake. It's a minute duration.
The horse is awake.
The horse is awake, but it's bound to the cart.
Oh, it's bound?
no.
Oh,
It's
it's
attached to the
not
cart.
any other than it usually is.
No.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
I hold the wheels.
Dude, it's gonna
Don't do
Make an
that.
athletics check.
run over you.
21.
Immediately the horse starts running,
Jeez.
and you... your arms stretch out, grabbing the wheels.
Oh no.
Come
The
on,
horse crit fails. The horse starts... and then falls slumping into the ground, into the mud, and just starts kind of like writhing around there. It's now gotten the straps that hold it there, kind of like caught, its legs all caught up. It's not able to move, but it is still trying.
We'll live.
Another minute goes by. No, I'm just kidding. As your Drake still stands there, holding its claws stretched out to the sky.
Yes.
Oh.
Every time he gets struck, I just think of lightning, like turning into wings on him.
Yes.
Comes into his full glory of a
He's
dragon.
getting stronger.
Ghibly and Nora make a dexterity saving.
And with every strike, I'm gaining a level up.
Nice. That's a good ability.
14.
14.
Just fails.
We're
Both of you having no idea you're about to be struck by lightning.
we're doing so good. We've been under like 15 minutes.
As you sit under there, waiting. 19 lightning damage.
Ow.
Ow.
You're out? Okay.
Wait, are you?
Ghibly, your teeth
Oh, no!
chattering.
Not.
You're not?
No.
Did you heal?
No. I have relentless endurance.
Oh, so Ghibly, you watch as both of you. Are you out?
No.
Okay. You look over. What does he see? A moment where you are.
Yes. Face down into the dirt and just wake up screaming. Ah!
I scream back.
There's like a good few seconds. She's dead. You're certain of it. Her face is like in the mud, and she's not breathing. And you're just about to reach up to shake her, and she starts screaming. Her hair is completely poofed out.
That's the scariest part.
And I immediately cast something.
I heal with second wind.
Okay.
And I am healing something. I need a spell.
Another very close bolt of lightning as the Drake again takes a strike. He is just lets out this tremendous roar into the sky, and you watch as lightning arcs out of his mouth.
Dude, my guy.
He sends a lightning bolt back up.
He strikes the cloud.
He lightning strikes the cloud. The cloud starts to disperse.
It's like Tron.
Yeah.
Dude, your sword has just evaded every strike. I've not rolled a 7
Your sword
once.
is working.
Yeah, Elmater is not suffering for us today.
Thanks.
However, again, a final strike to the Drake as he just this long bolt of lightning. It sits, for a period of time where he's just like. You just see like a ball of energy surrounding him, crackling all around him. As he just like looks, he looks directly at you. You see his eyes, just bright, glowing lights, similar in color now to yours, even more so, but glowing, like just this radiance. As he, and then it stops.
Oh, okay.
5 minutes, distance, but nothing near you again. 10 minutes.
Is everyone okay?
Yeah.
I'm actually very good.
I walk out of the top. Just getting a nice fresh in. Being quiet.
Is it still raining?
It is a light rain, but no longer that horrible pouring rain. You see towards the east. You can see the direction that the storm is going.
Okay, I'm gonna start donning my gear again.
Okay.
Everybody.
Immediately,
please
Clonus is
use me.
starting.
I get into the middle of everybody where there's 30 feet, and I cast a prayer of healing
Hey.
on everybody.
Dude, I bet your armor's pretty toasty.
Don't forget the horse.
Oh yeah, I think he's in there. Wait, how many can I do?
The horse is
6. I can only do 6 people with this
just
one.
struggling. You see, entirely wound up in the straps.
Yes, 1. Hands up who needs healing. Oh, it's 2. Oh my god. 7.
7?
And then does anybody else need healing?
He had 14 now.
Oof. I crawl out from under the cart, and in the mud, I reach down, and from some odd 60 feet away, wherever that axe landed, I pull it out of the mud right next to me and flick off. Yeah. Then put it back on my
That's
waist.
so cool.
That's cool. Does anybody else need healing? I'm going to waste something on just me.
I'm 7 down, so
Okay,
sure.
I'm going to do my piece.
I have a very special
7.
bond
Whoever
with
was
my
in that
weapons.
first only got
They
7.
don't get
And this
far.
next one probably is going to get more.
Oh wait, no, I reset him. So.
Oh, you reset him?
Yeah.
No.
This one gets more.
When you go over to him, you see he's standing there still, his eyes crackling with energy. His scales are kind of lightly raised, almost like the hair on the back of a cat. And you see between them little crackles of lightning. Approaching him, he just looks up at you, just energetic, just like alive. Just he's breathing heavily, his eyes are wide, and you see around him little spots in the ground of glowing light. And arcing off of him into those spots in various places on the ground around him, lightning crackles. Go and make an investigation check.
Ooh.
8. Then you find 2 scales.
Dragon tears.
Quite distinctly, you notice in the blasts, they launched off of him into the ground. And as you pick them up, there's a bit of a spark to them, but you can feel them thrumming with energy. They are these bright blue scales that are on his back, sharp like an arrow's head, and of similar size, thrumming with energy.
That is very cool. You just invented the Duracell battery.
Anybody who needed it got 9 healing.
Hey.
9 more healing?
That's on top of 7?
Yep.
Anybody thinking there, Viv?
That was my.
How many? I mean, I needed 7.
I needed.
Everybody got 9.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
And then the other people got 7. So the horse should be at.
Her around.
What?
She's pretty great.
17.
Max.
Or whatever he was at, yeah.
I'll just try and calm down the horse as best I can. Got some marmalade that I give it once it's ready for that, and then
I saw. Okay.
And
I'm gonna hold the cart as he's trying to
appreciate it.
Calm the horse down.
I'm
Just in
gonna
case when they unwrap
help
him.
calm the horse down.
Roll the animal handling check.
9.
It is like at this point, it's what you think is calm, and then you realize it's entirely unresponsive.
This is a shock.
Is it dead?
Literally.
No, it's like you're trying to quiet it and guide it, and it is not responsive to your commands. And then it will like look at something and go a different way.
Talk to him, Alex. Get the horse to calm down.
I'm not really an animal.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Okay. It's just like, scared.
Hey,
Hurt.
hey, can you hear me?
Hurt.
It's okay. And I'm gonna stroke the.
Touching. And it like looks at you now, noticing you touching it.
Sorry,
It's looking right at you.
it's okay. The storm's gone now. You won't get hit again.
It like cocks its head.
The storm's passed. You're okay.
Can't hear him.
I am gonna reach into my pack and pull, or I'm gonna go. Give me some grain or something.
Do I look like I carry grain?
From the back of the cart or whatever.
Of course,
feed
my
the
bad.
horse.
I grab some grain.
And I'm gonna put out some grain in my hand and like try to calmly like stroke the horse and saying things to try and comfort it, knowing like just trying to say the same things that I would have anyway, so it doesn't look like I'm yelling at it or something,
Yeah.
and it because it can't hear.
Go ahead and roll another animal handling check.
Can I guess
Give
I don't
advantage
know. Do
to
we
the
know
grain
that's
in my
deaf?
help.
That's why that's if not for like stuff like that, he wouldn't even be rolling here.
20.
Over the course of a few minutes, you are able to calm the horse down. But throughout the entirety of it, never seems to be able to hear you.
Edivard, the horse is deaf.
Could somebody maybe put healing on his ears? You guys touch heal.
Do you guys have magic that can cure deafness?
Can I cast Cure Wounds?
You cast True Wounds?
Yeah. What? Fix the deafness?
Nothing seems to change. All of his surface level wounds and any pain he's suffered, any damage, to his body that would cause him to die has been healed.
Unless we have a way to restore its hearing, it's going to be difficult to maneuver.
I suppose we have a deaf horse.
Yeah.
Well, deaf horse can still walk.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Probably
but
won't spook as easily now.
it'll be harder
Very true.
to
There's still
yell the
rains.
right thing, but all right.
Is it like night rest time, or is it?
No.
Was it like
you still,
midday
you've
or
got like
something?
3 hours till
Okay.
sunset, probably.
Let's keep going then.
Travel for the
See
rest
if-
of the day.
We can find a higher point that's not all muddy from that deluge.
Find a reasonable spot to camp. I won't make you roll. I think it's safe to say that today's events don't necessarily imply that there will be something happening at night. But you are well rested. You get your long rest in for that night. And the horse is still deaf in the morning, but he has this beautiful pattern on his back where the hair was like singed and bleached almost to have just this lightning pattern all along the right side of his body. It's very, very cool.
Well, his name's Lucky.
Yeah, did he have a name
More
before?
like unlucky.
'Cause
It's not gonna respond to it now.
True.
Wow.
Lucky, your name's Lucky now. It's falling on deaf ears.
Man, calling a horse struck by lightning lucky.
Yeah, well, Cephas
Cephas was.
Well, no, it was both of them.
It was holding the horse.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
Really, just
Don't
beating
put
dead
this
horse
on
at
me.
this point.
We're not blaming you.
We're
it's
saying
your fault.
that it's your fault, but we're not.
That I
blaming
got struck by lightning.
you. Yeah. Well, you were holding on to the horse, so you forced the horse to also be struck by lightning.
I forced it.
Yeah.
You're gonna get struck by lightning.
Well, with that, the worst of your travels are now behind you. 8 days goes by. 8 days go by, I should say. And nothing out of the ordinary happens. The storm has passed. Travel is rough and difficult. You're coming to what you think is just the cusp of your temporary fix for the axle. There's been a few days where you've had to kind of minorly repair it again, just with more rope, but not necessarily more of the material. But it's been a difficult journey, to say the least. But these last 8 days have just been occasional sprinkles of rain, nothing too crazy. However, Holik, on your 14th now day of travel, you do approach up ahead what looks like, about midway through the day, what looks like a cart on the side of the road, pulled off to the side of the road, as in no longer on it. From this perspective, you're seeing the back of it. You don't see a horse or anything that's pulling it, but if there was one, you couldn't necessarily see it because it's being blocked. But as you grow closer, you're about 100 feet away or so, and your ears pick up on something in Venora just after yours do as well. You hear what sounds like crying or whimpering. Not quite like wailing and sobbing.
Yeah.
But just a soft and sad whimper. It sounds like a woman crying. You don't see anyone, but it does sound like it's coming from ahead of you in the direction of the cart.
I'm gonna relay that to you guys, and I'm gonna just run ahead.
I'm gonna run too.
Okay. Do you stop the horse? You're riding? Okay. So everybody keeps going, but you guys rush up ahead. Cephas and Holik, rushing up to the back of the cart, you hear from within it. I mean, there's like a tarp, that closes off the back, and you can hear inside of it. This woman is crying. But as you run up, making no attempts to be quiet, walking around the side of the cart, you see a somewhat older man. Well, he seems to be in his mid-60s or so. Short cropped gray hair, a large gray mustache, very wrinkled, and seemed like he's seen a lot of work in the sun. He steps around with a small short sword before you're able to approach, and he looks up at each of you. Do you mean to be bandits and stop us while we're here weakened on the side of the road?
We mean to be helpers.
I heard someone crying and wanted to find out what was going on. We have a party of people that have been
looks over
traveling
their shoulders.
for about almost 2 weeks now. And we heard the crying and rushed up to see if we can help.
I show him my.
He turns, told you to be quiet.
I show him my emblem just in case he recognizes.
I'm gonna do an insight to see.
You hold the emblem up, and he kind of pays no mind to it. He doesn't seem to recognize it.
From that, I told her to be quiet.
You want to see if he's telling the truth?
Or if he's I don't know.
Means ill intent?
Yeah.
Okay.
9.
9? Not sure.
So,
it's not right to cry over simple things like this.
Well, what happened? Can we help?
He's still holding the sword. One of you can roll a persuasion check with advantage from the other. You can do it.
15.
At this point, the majority of the crew is getting close. The rest of you are about 30 feet away or so, as he kind of holds his sword.
I'm gonna hold my hand out and try to wave them to.
He looks at you.
Slow down.
I didn't recognize the symbol in your hand, but are you some sort of holy man?
I follow Ilmater.
You're a man of healing.
I can help, and we have others who can help probably more than I.
He looks over his shoulder. Our mule is sick. He can't go on, and we have no means of traveling consistently. I can't stay on my feet.
Well, let me try.
I'm going to go and put 5 points of lay on hands, which if it does have a disease, it will be healed of that.
Okay, as you take a step forward, he kind of puts his sword in between you and him. Just...
You can keep the sword on me if you'd like. I'll just go and put my hands on the mule.
He nods. He kind of follows behind you. He doesn't poke the sword in your back or anything, but he follows behind you as you walk towards the front of the carriage, and he stops and says, hang for a moment. And he kind of raps on the side of the cart. Chris. And at this point, the crying has stopped. And you see a fairly young woman kind of stick her head out the back of the cart. Long, kind of reddish brown hair covering her face slightly, and she kind of pushes it back. And she looks at everybody, seeming like tears no longer staining her eyes or anything close to it. Composed herself quite well in those few moments. He looks at her and just keep an eye on the rest of them while I take this one to the front. She nods, looking at each of you and looking at the rest of you behind Hulk. And he kind of, okay, you can go. Guides Cephas to the front. You see at the front, unattached now from the rest of the cart, a mule, kind of rolled up almost, in the fetal position slightly, but its front legs kind of sticking back, and you see just a pile of sick, vomit around where its mouth is, kind of in the mud. And it is just, its eyes are kind of rolled back. You can see it's labored breathing. Seems very, very sick.
So I'll put my hands on him and say a prayer for healing in Ilmater's name and present my holy symbol and give him 5 points. So if it has a disease, it'll be cured of that.
You watch miraculously in a moment as its eyes kind of roll forward again. Its breathing becomes significantly more easy and slower, not this quick raspy breaths. And it just kind of it sits up slightly, and it pulls its head up and looks around and kind of leans its head towards you and just lays its head on your lap. As you're kind of crouched there next to it, it lays its head across your lap and just closes its eyes.
There we are. Feeling better, are we?
I'll also, just in case it, was lost any hit points as a result of that, I'll do some cure wounds as well.
Okay.
Can we
5.
see it or no?
Did you guys approach? I'm assuming you stopped when Holik told you to stop, right?
I got within 3.
You can't see it from where you see Cephas on the front of the car, crouched down next to something, and at the very end of it, you see in Cephas's lap now the head of this mule, kind of laying there.
Because I want to know if it looked like it got sick or if it was overworked.
I want to.
Do you want to try and approach? Do you want to try? You're seeing from about 40 feet away. You're seeing.
Yeah, I'm a kid. I'll go see what I want to see.
Okay, you walk forward, and the woman. Whoa! Stop right there! Stop!
Titus.
We don't mean any trouble. We trust your friend here, but
Well,
I won't let you gang up on my uncle here in case you do mean harm.
Just stay back there. We don't want to.
We were warned that there could be people that might want to hurt us.
Why would I want to hurt you? My friend's literally helping your donkey.
They're all good
ruse.
people.
Titus. Just.
People on this trail make absolutely no sense.
The man standing next to you, you hear a as he sheathes his sword. He kind of kneels down next to you and he pets the head of the mule, and you can just hear this kind of rhythmic humming within it as it is fallen fast asleep in your arms.
With the 5 points of hit points, was there anything visual? Or anything, or?
You notice kind of like a couple spots where it looks like maybe it had pulled a little too tightly on the reins, or like a little cut like along its leg where maybe it slipped and got cut on a rock. But nothing like there was no pop of its spine back into place or anything crazy.
It looks like your mule just needs some rest at this point. Now, if you'd like...
We've only been traveling a day. Should not have been overworked.
Well, I think it might have got sick, judging by the vomit.
That's what I would assume as well.
But if you'd like, we could keep watch until your mule's got some rest so that you don't have to be weary of bandits. I assure you, they're all good people on this trip with me.
Are you all church folk?
Well...
Are you soldiers?
Most of them are good church folk. Some of them, they're looking for a god. I hope they find mine.
He laughs. Where are you going?
Where are we going, Hollock?
Fort Trinity.
Fort Trinity.
That's lucky. So are we. Why are you? And he kind of like calls back, and you see as he looks back to call back to the woman, she's like intently looking at the two of you talking to him, and her eyes are wide, and she jumps out the back of the cart and rushes over. Are you going to serve as well?
Serve?
Are you here to enlist?
No.
Good. I suppose that's good then.
So you two were hoping to enlist?
Certainly not. No. And at that you watch like the man kind of like he like grimaces at the thought of it and just kind of like kicks a rock in the dirt and
okay.
No, definitely not. Who do you all serve, then?
Ilmater, god of suffering, god of the rack. God who loves mercy, cherishes the widow and the orphan. The God who loves you even when you do not love him back. Here, actually, let me grab this for you.
He takes it quickly and opens it and starts scouring through it.
But the rest of us were helping defend a person in Tradeacre. We all independently took contracts to help someone. And
are you all bounty hunters? Or sellswords?
Are you in need?
He like looks at her and she kind of just shrugs and she nods like vigorously towards him and I don't know who to trust, but this journey may already have proven to us it was more difficult than we'd thought, and we should maybe not have been the ones to go. We were on our way to Trinity to ask for help in person this time. For months, for weeks, we've been sending letters and writing to hopefully receive some aid, and none has been sent. Our village is racked with disaster.
What's going
Raiding
on?
parties of horrible creatures time and time again have come in and bullied their way into taking our food and livestock, and they're threatening that if the next time they return we have nothing to give them, then they'll start choosing people at random to take. Well, we're here because the next time they return we will have nothing to give them. Our children are suffering, they're starving, and we're giving them everything that we can, but that just means that we are now suffering and starving. We've been bullied in such ways before, but we've always had men to defend us. But the Riskelian army, months back, came through and drafted all of our able-bodied men and women against our better wish. They assured us that it was necessary and that it would bring overwhelming security to the realm, and that if we needed them, they would send a small battalion to help us. It didn't take long, but we've been bullied into submission, and we've asked for help time and time again, and they've sent nothing.
Where's your town?
Just a day to the east.
And we're like, just a few days from Trinity, right?
You're 14 days into your 16-day journey, and nothing, as far as you're aware, has actually slowed you down a day.
When is David's fight?
After arriving, it should be 5 days after arrival in Fort Trinity. So from right now, it's 7 days away.
May our company approach further and we can all talk?
Certainly. I'm sorry
is that
to have
right?
been so untrusting before.
100% understandable.
If all of you do mean well, we need help.
I'm motioning the rest of the guys to come up.
Well, if children are in danger, then we should make haste.
Yeah.
What's going on?
As they approach, I'm gonna give them the short spiel of that.
Okay.
So,
if children are what you need to be motivated by, one has already been taken.
Say no more.
How many days ago was that?
It's the night before we left, so
do you know where?
we're only a day into our travel here.
Do you know where those bandits, at least, are coming from?
What is attacking you?
They're raiding parties of monstrous, tall. They yelp and whoop and scream and laugh at us, and they're
gonna come again.
Does that sound familiar?
Roll a history check.
May I as well?
I've got an idea of what this is gonna be.
The first time was a month and a half ago, I think. Last time
Like once a week?
it was more or less every week to 2 weeks, but the last two times they've come have been within the same week, but not 6 days apart.
14 on that history.
20.
Okay, what he's describing could be, like they could be wolves, they could be werewolves, they could be, I mean, you're not certain, but you're pretty certain, based on the hint that he said laughing, they're probably gnolls. They're tall, canine-like, kind of like the hyena equivalent to an orc, almost. These tall, brutish, horribly sadistic, like monsters. We called them Gnashers. I don't know what they're really called.
They sound like gnolls.
Do you know?
They're terrible, and they've struck down a few of us when we tried to resist. And we have barely any few able-bodied individuals who can fight back, who managed to dodge the draft that came through and get out of it, but for various reasons, and some of those are the ones who have now suffered and died.
Do you or anyone else at the town know where their nest might be?
We sent one small group of individuals, some of the younger teenagers who were too young to be sent with the draft, and they came back having been cut very badly, and they said they never found where it was, but they think if they went out again, they were on the right track. I think they got very close, considering something found them before they found something. The Knolls, the Nashers, found them, so they must have been close. They only went less than a day away from town.
Okay.
And your full day's ride out?
Yes.
This is your first day. Can we get
No,
back?
we're a full day's ride. No. By day's end. This is as far as we've got. We left this morning.
Okay. The one day.
I'm sorry.
And then
We've got a good horse, and they've got a good cart.
Well, by day's end, we could return.
And then tomorrow would be.
But yesterday, the child was taken.
Would you guys be willing to try? And then if in 4 days, if we're not out, you guys could take the horse and head to Trinity?
Yeah. But if we go back, we can have them show us where they went, and maybe we can fake that kid.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
I don't like to consider what they possibly want with him. They said if we don't offer them any food, they'll start taking people. So I don't know. But
What's in the back of their cart?
do you go look?
Just like, is it like packed full or?
It doesn't seem to be. It's covered by
Okay.
by canvas. That's what she was kind of closed behind. But if you go, the things are open now, and you see inside it's just like a small barrel, what they probably have their travel rations in, bedding, things like that. But nothing crazy, and it looks pretty meager at best. You see in the back there's like a walking cane, another short sword that's just kind of like laying on the ground, like probably hers, and neither of them probably know how to use them. And the swords that they were carrying, even the one he had, was not in very good condition. It was very dirty and old.
I'm sorry, I don't think I caught your names.
My niece's name is Christiana, and mine is Samson.
What time of day is it right now?
It's like a little bit after midday.
Okay.
Maybe close to 2 hours after midday.
I mean, unless somebody doesn't want to.
You do not have to. We are going to the fort.
Yes, we must.
You could escort us there.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder and be like, if we're helping. We're gonna take care of this.
You feel like weight in him. As like you have your hand on his shoulder, and he, even though your hand is above him, you can feel like 10 pounds off of his shoulders as he just slumps. And all the energy that he was projecting to try and convince you to help goes, and he is just a husk. Thank you.
Look, you get in the back of the cart. We'll hook up our horse. Our cart is rather beaten and broken at this point, and we can make haste. And I'll see if I can carry this mule till it wakes up.
What?
Is our
I'd like
cart
to-
lighter than theirs?
I'd like to see.
They're about the same size.
Okay.
Your cart's not very big.
Do they have a canopy?
That's why I thought that.
But they have a canopy. You have a canopy as well, right?
Oh, we do? I think they
Do you not? Oh, wait.
No,
I
we
don't
don't.
think you do.
I don't think
We don't.
We do. We definitely do.
No, we don't. I remember when I got the card. It
Yeah,
didn't
you
have a
don't.
canopy.
Theirs does have a canopy. So theirs is a little bit nicer than yours. Okay.
Let's go.
Are you taking both carts, or are you leaving yours?
Is that what you're wanting to do?
What?
I don't know exactly what you were implying.
I mean,
Fine with what?
Are we
With,
leaving
uh,
our cart?
Yeah, I think we would. We would load up our stuff.
I
Is
suppose
the
we
mule
can
still,
have some-
like,
we just
fast
have
asleep?
rations.
No, the mule has since woken up.
Oh, it is.
I'm gonna
Oh, okay.
go over to it and speak with Animal.
You cast it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You feeling better?
I feel tremendous.
Do you feel up to pulling one of these carriages?
Of course.
Cool. All right, he's in.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay.
Maybe. Oh, that was weird. Sorry. Maybe if we take our cart while we go look for them, maybe they have someone at their little village that could fix up our cart.
That'd be awesome.
I can assure you, if you help us, we do. We have a wagon worker who can absolutely. We will have almost no money or anything to give you, so this would be
It's
beginning of our gestures to repay you.
it's all right. That wasn't part of the terms. Like you don't have to try and sell us more. We are in.
Good.
Don't be afraid. We're just gonna run out of it.
It's just that rear axle is bad.
That is true, though.
I will look at it as soon as I can, but I know a man who can take a look at it and do something about it.
Well, let us make haste. He'll
Do
make to
you-
and not see you suffer.
Do you have any spellcasters magically touched?
No, certainly not.
There's
We're-
always a chance.
We're barely more than a hamlet. Our population slightly exceeded 400 before 80 of our men were taken.
And they were taken, inscripted into the military.
Into the Rascalian army and taken to Fort Trinity is what we were told. I haven't seen a single one of them all summer.
We would all be more than happy to help, and the cart being fixed would be more than enough to repay it.
It will be fixed beyond your wildest imaginations.
That's very fixed.
What is your town called?
Woodhurst.
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 Woodhurst. Whose Woodhurst is that?
Whithurst.
Whithurst.
Whithaerst. Whithurst.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
That's a hard word to say.
It's Whithurst.
We'll bring these gnolls back. Dead. All of them.
I hope to see it through with you. Well, I don't mean to imply I will fight with you.
I was worried.
I'm a very old man.
Yeah, I was taken aback, shocked.
If we're going to go, then can we go now?
Yes.
Does your allegiance not lie with the Rascalian army?
It certainly has always. We're
Can I
just
roll insight on that?
sure.
If he's a traitor to his country, natural 20. 22.
Doesn't seem to be lying.
Okay.
We've always just been a pebble on a gravel road on the way to Fort Trinity. We don't trade. Most of us work for our lives. We farm, and we are mostly farmers and shepherds.
Well, take it from me. You might want to find something else to put your faith in.
Might what?
Your faith into.
They've always been there. They just asked that they could conscript our men because they're preparing for the possibility that Taproisia is on our doorstep, and everybody is concerned about that. They weren't charlatans trying to convince us to give up our men.
I got my countries mixed up.
Yeah, it's.
I was
about
like, wait a minute, I like these guys.
the taps.
Yeah.
They didn't join the Taproisia.
Yeah, I was like,
No.
wait a minute.
No, Rascalia came in and promised that our men would be patriots and would stand in defense
That's
of
right. I'm a nationalist. I respect that. That's
our
great.
country.
I hate the native border nation.
And all of this is happening as you're traveling.
Yeah.
6 or so hours, about an hour past sundown, until he says, we should be coming upon it any moment. It's difficult travel. There's no road. There's a kind of a beaten path, where people that do go here or come from here every now and then take, but it's nothing, kept. It's basically just a trail through a large field.
I can lead one of the carts if you wanted to lead the other.
Just Holik and Venora, the two of you, as you're approaching, and
I'm sensing a pattern.
after about 5 or so minutes pass from when he said that we should be approaching very soon, you're beginning to crest a small hill, and just as you look ahead, you smell first fire.
Edivard, run.
Okay. And as you look to the horizon and you're cresting over this hill, you see ahead of you a small village, but maybe a mile away. And in various corners of the village, you can see plumes of smoke and small bits of fire.
Get the animals to go faster.
I'm gonna take like 3 minutes to take the lash off the horse that's connecting it to the cart and just jump on it and run towards town. Our cart, which is now empty because our stuff should be in their cart. Yeah.
So leaving your cart.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you spend the time, everybody else gets far ahead of you, and then you catch up on the horse.
As I approach, I put one arm out and I just say, Ghibly.
I immediately grab my arm.
Make an acrobatics check.
And can I give an advantage?
Yeah, you can make an acrobatics check with advantage, Ghibly.
21.
You're on my shoulders.
With
man.
ease, he lifts, you like jump off, and he lifts over as you just behind him, and the two of you continue running. You didn't stop for a moment.
No.
I'm gonna give the reins over to the guy
It's on fire.
and start looking at towards. We'll check. Just
Okay.
I'll
We'll
dash
check if
as
that's
well.
real fire.
We'll check.
I mean, we'll go and try and take care of the situation.
Please stop whatever's doing this. And immediately all of you are out of earshot of him now as you rush towards the town, flying lumen, this giant moth. Never really got brought up. This guy just also paid no mind to it.
moth with you?
Yeah, I'll
would
say
say
he never really took notice. You were kind of in the back. I mean, sometimes you
were
travel
just-
with your cloak over, but immediately now you fly over him, and he. As you all rush towards this town,
Cinematically, for my dash, can I like go into my shell and roll?
Oh my gosh.
the entire mile.
No, just for like the initial downhill.
Yeah, there's an initial downhill, and you run, jump over the side of the hill, and roll until finally you come out of the roll and start running. For a moment, that roll allowed you to catch up to Ghibly and Edelvard, but then afterward, now you're running well behind. As all of you rush towards Woodhurst, you see
Woodhurst.
small fires in different corners of the little village. It's a very small village. I mean, you see just a collection of buildings at best. But it looks like 3 distinct large fires, 3 buildings burning, and smoke just pluming into the sky. And you hear screaming of various women and children off in the distance as you rush in that direction, and that's where we'll leave it.